beginning, there was nothing. And then there was the Drunken Peasants Podcast.
I gotta get a witness.
No! Say, man, you got a joint? No, not on you, man.
I don't have facts to back this up.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
It's true. Sometimes I cry.
Lick my butthole, you laugh.
From the strangest corners of the internet, here to bring you opinions of the world from an altered perspective. Here are your hosts.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Drunken Peasants Podcast, episode 719. And we are joined once again by Mike from the Humanist Report. Welcome back, Mike.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be back.
Yeah. You know what? And I noticed that a lot of times we're brought back together because I'll get tagged in a Twitter thread that is started by Styx calling you a coward for not debating him.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I genuinely don't know why, that transpired the way that it did. I was down to debate. I thought that you guys were gracious. You created like a really cool a trailer for it in, what was it, like May last year? And I was like really pumped up. I prepped for it, and it's not like I don't already know what I want to say like ideologically, but like I did my research. I watched his videos. I read his Twitter threads and tweets. Like I tried to learn about my opponent because I want to go into this prepared and, really have a fun debate. I think it could have been, if not instructive, or constructive, at least entertaining, but it didn't happen because, as many of you remember, he canceled one day before the debate was supposed to take place. One day before. And I still appeared on the show, and I think that we were really polite. Like, I wasn't going to assume that he chickened out. I don't think he debates lefties before, so I don't think that, he's afraid of me. Come on. So I just kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt. And then on the show, I think that we were clear in saying, you guys said you'd host a debate. I said, let's reschedule. Never heard back until October of 2019, where he makes this tweet randomly out of the blue that somebody, I think, tagged me in. And he's like, why don't lefties ever want to debate me? And I'm like, what? You canceled out on me. Let's do it. Let's do it. So, we go back and forth through the DMs. And I reach out to you guys so we can schedule. We get like a tentative date, and I bring that to him, and he's in a different country, so the time zones are completely off. So he wasn't necessarily okay with that debate. He said he'd need like a Red Bull IV because that would be super early. So I'm like, all right, well, how about this? Let's wait until you're back in the U.S. because he mentioned that he may be making a trip back. And if he's able to be there long enough to adapt to the time zone, that'd probably just be better because I don't want to debate him when he's tired. I think that's, unfair. I wouldn't perform well. It doesn't matter. I'm cool with it. And so I told him to let me know when he's going to be in the United States. And he said he will. He didn't know when he was coming back. And that was the last that we talked about it. And then all of a sudden in April, I don't remember what I tweeted about, but he responded in my thread saying, oh, is that why you backed out of the debate with me?
Yeah. What?
To which, again, I'm puzzled because it's like, I was more than willing to debate you. So I screen capped the DMs that we had where the last correspondence was me saying, let me know if that date's going to work for you or when you're going to be back. I'm paraphrasing. And the last response was me saying, okay, perfect, because he said he'd confirm, and he never did. So I'm just wondering, it's like you can't alter reality when we have these receipts. Like if you don't want to debate me, probably because you're lazy, it's a lot of work, I admit, then that's fine. But like, stop trying to make this into a pissing contest. Like if you don't want to debate, then stop bringing it back up because I assumed that you didn't want to. Like when I didn't hear back from him after like 2 weeks, I'm like, all right, I'm not going to deal with this. So this time, I was a lot more of a dickhead, to be honest, because it's like, okay, I'm not going to go back and forth bouncing dates around and going back through, like, we've already been through this before, and I don't believe that he's going to follow through. So I said, look, I talked to Drunken Peasants. Again, they give us a date, and I said, okay, this is the date. Take it or leave it, and you're going to wear a fucking shirt to this debate if you like it or not. Now, I shouldn't have said that. but my sense of humor, like, I don't think that he got that I was joking about that. Like, I wasn't trying to like dictate the dress code. I was just being a dickhead. But he decided, no, I'm not going to do that. And there's a couple of really weird things. So in the DMs, and I have all of these, part of the reason why the debate was kind of not going to take place was because he seemed reluctant to have it on Drunken Peasants, and he never gave me a reason why. And I argued that, one, you guys already put in all the time. You made the trade. Like, it's unfair. And second of all, like, the optimal time for this debate would be at the time that you guys stream. Like, you want the most eyeballs, ideally, right? So, I mean,
right.
There's no reason not to.
And another point to that is he's been on this show before, and it was nothing but a positive conversation. Granted, we had Lauren Chen on, so it was someone kind of on his side of the political spectrum, but there's no reason why he would think we would treat him unfairly. And it is very strange that, of all places, he wanted to have the debate on Andy Worski's channel instead for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, like, why change it? You guys are fair. Like, you guys are like relatively left-leaning as far as I know, but it's not like you wouldn't disagree. Like, you and I have had disagreements on the show before.
Yes.
Like, there's no logic to it, right? And I'm trying to remember, like, I have all the DMs open on my phone as well, but he says, like, the time doesn't really matter, because even if we did it like at some weird time, like at 9 p.m. or whatever, like, that's not what he said. I'm paraphrasing. Yeah. There'd be a lot of eyeballs because, and this is what he said. Let me find the exact one. This will be a pretty high tier matchup. That's what he said in October, right? So, this is going to bring a lot of eyeballs. But here's what he said now. After, the third time when this was supposed to happen, I have the tweet up because he blocked me after this, but somebody screenshotted it. He said, I'm not getting up at 2:30 in the morning to debate someone with a significantly smaller audience. So now it's not a high tier matchup. Now I have too small of an audience. So it's like, okay, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I was more than willing to. We have all the DMs. We have the receipts. You don't want to debate. That's fine. But stop trying to make it into a pissing contest. You can't keep saying, why won't the lefties debate me, if you keep fucking canceling? So I don't know. I don't get it.
And calling you out directly. If you're so insignificant, right, why is he tweeting at you directly, calling you a coward for not debating him? And he also used a lot of weird excuses. First of all, we've started earlier to accommodate people that live in Europe. So that's never been an issue. Like, we've had people in the UK, which is only an hour behind where he lives now. We've done that before. So that's never a problem. Also, he tried to blame it on, I remember the first time he tried to blame it on alcoholism, that he was struggling with alcoholism, and that's why he made all these promises he didn't keep. And then this time it was like, oh, well, I didn't do it because I was moving to the Netherlands. Which is a whole other weird thing. Like, I love the Netherlands. It's one of my favorite countries. Why would someone with his political views want to live in the Netherlands? I don't know, but that's an aside.
Yeah.
Maybe he's looking for a dragon.
I have a tweet about that as well, because I was kind to him. Like, I didn't really know him, right, before I knew that we were going to debate. So I did a lot of research into him. And, like, I had no reason to assume that he was lying after he flaked out the first time. So, like, I even said to him, let me see, where I told him that I'm glad that he's, like, sober and, and healthy now and whatnot. And that's a really good thing. And he's like, oh, well, thank you. I can't find it here. Oh, here it is. I said, let me just say that I'm glad that you're healthy and sober now. And he said, I appreciate it. So it's like, I'm not trying to go out of my way to, like, be rude, like, because I assumed that the debate would take place. We planned for it. I already prepared for it. I still have all my notes from, like, last time. So it's like, there's no reason not to. He didn't want to. So, and I don't know why. It just doesn't make sense.
He blocked you?
He blocked me. Yeah.
So the chances of him doing a debate with you are, like, almost zero now, right?
It's basically, it's done. He kind of confirmed he put out, like, a thread. This is not happening, and he had his BS reasons. But, like, people who were following me sent the screenshot of the DM where I was the one waiting on him. Like, you can't lie about it if we have these screenshots. Like, I don't understand it. Like, it genuinely is perplexing to me, because I think that I was incredibly polite. You guys were kind. You went out of your way to take time out to prepare for it. It just doesn't make sense to me. And then to keep coming back after you have declined debates or flaked out, to basically try to like egg me on to debate you. Oh, why didn't you debate me? It's like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, this is not normal. This is weird. And he seemed like an intelligent guy. Like, we have political disagreements, but you know, like he seemed normal, at least in the sense that he wouldn't like deliberately lie when it's verifiably, you know, false, when I can just show you the screenshot. I don't know. I don't get it, but whatever.
It's probably his alcoholism.
Well, he claims he's clean now. I don't know.
Most alcoholics will lie about that.
And I do believe that he moved to the Netherlands because he met a woman there that he's in a relationship with.
Not a dragon.
So, yeah. So I think, and that makes sense. That's fine that he moved. I don't see how he, and I see people in the chat saying now the Netherlands is center right. I mean, maybe for Europe, but I've been there so many times. It's one of the more liberal places I've ever been in my life. More liberal than most countries.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, let me just say, I wish him nothing but like good things. Like, I don't hate him. Like, I just, it's irritating, right? I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little bit upset that I had to jump through hoops only to have it amount to nothing. But I mean, it's like he's, you know,
Can
whatever.
Mike take off his glasses, look into the camera, and passionately tell Dusty the cockatiel that he's a beautiful bird?
There we go. Oh wow,
listen, Dusty, you are a beautiful bird. And I love you.
Wow.
I'm
not very good at being seductive, so
it was good.
Dusty probably just puked.
No.
Dusty popped a feather. He's in it. I just want to add on about Styx that he's a fucking weirdo dweeb that sucked out of a debate like 9 times with a hella weird excuses. You fucking pussy. Oh, sorry, that was just me though.
I love it when people mix up Styx with Razor Fist because they both have like the leather jackets and the long hair, but people do it all the time.
What a great tag team that would be. Like if they had tag team debates.
Yeah, you want to know what's funny is that when I told people that I was going to be debating Styx, like my followers were like, "Isn't that guy that Kyle Kulinski crushed on Drunken Peasants, and now he's coming back for more?" It's like, no, that's a different conservative.
Yeah,
it's the leather jacket and the long hair. I think they're kind of similar, but you know, Razor Fist is just a guy doing Dennis Miller, and he's even admitted that before.
That's cute. I miss Dennis Miller. I used to like Dennis Miller when I was a little kid.
On Weekend Update?
No, when he had his HBO show.
Oh, okay.
We had stolen cable boxes when I was a kid, so we'd get all the good HBO stuff. I used to watch Dennis Miller all the time. Everybody wants to rule the world was like the little intro song for his show. It was good. I didn't realize he was such a fucking right-wing dude then.
Yeah. Yes, he has been for quite some time.
Him and Bill Maher should do a show together and just be old men that argue.
Put them in the octagon against each other.
Oh, that's not fair. Joe Rogan as like the referee.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty chill, actually.
Yep. We're going to move on. Before we do that, I want to let everyone know, if you could please like the stream, that helps us out a lot. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. We're going to get into the news segment in just a moment. There is one other thing I wanted to share with everyone. Starting next month, if you're a patron, $25 or above, once per month you will be mailed an actual Maniac, which are they're like muscle figures. If you're a child of the 80s and you remember muscle figures, once a month we'll be mailing out to you, our $25 and above patrons, one of these figures. There's me and Billy. I'm forever in the mask, even though I haven't worn the mask in years.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to start sending these to our patrons of a certain tier or above starting next month. So starting tomorrow, if you sign up, $25 or above, and we need your mailing address. Give us your mailing address, and at the end of next month, we'll have a list of everyone that had that pledge, and we'll be sending you your actual Maniac.
Yes.
One a month, just so you know.
And by the end of the year, you'll have enough actual Maniacs you could play with yourself all day long. Just sit there with your actual Maniacs in your lap and pew, pew. That's how I do it. I always made noises when my little characters
when you play
fight. Well, I called them dudes when I was a kid. My dudes would fight. I don't know. That's my life.
Did you have like the dramatic like mouth noise music where you're like,
sometimes,
you know,
yeah,
like, yeah.
I would just do it. It was great.
Yeah, I would sometimes sentence one of my action figures to death and leave it in the lawn for my dad to run it over with a lawnmower.
That's psycho. That's psycho.
Yeah.
Would you come and get him the next day? And
Have a funeral. Pick up all the pieces.
Oh, do not do that with my actual maniac, please.
No. All right. We are going to jump into DP Action News, and here is the intro.
He called me sir. It got me so fuming angry.
People are discriminating against wolves.
Wow. They're laughing at us, at our stupidity.
Oh, yeah.
And you better well learn to love it.
All right. So we have a few news stories that we're going to start off with. The first one, I saw the videos of this, and this just doesn't look real to me. But I have been to Brooklyn, on a Friday evening and seen all of the Hasidic people walking to temple.
Yeah.
So I do know that there's a population this large of Hasidic Jews in Brooklyn. This is crazy though.
It's just 2,500 people crowd, right?
Yeah, in the street. It was a funeral for a rabbi, and it was it's Hasidic Jews, so they have the traditional, hat and coat and the curly hair.
This isn't like Undertaker's WrestleMania entrance.
No,
this is not what this is.
Yeah, when there's like 20 Undertakers all dressed like him.
That would be pretty lit. That's not what this is. Any Undertaker here is here for probably the burial.
And this is why, across the board, regardless of what religion it is, this is an example of religion being harmful to people.
Yep.
in the city where the virus is the most widespread.
You can't say that.
I can say that. Honestly, Judaism, I'm the least annoyed by Judaism compared to many other religions because they don't actively try to get people to join their religion.
Oh, they don't even want you to join.
Right.
That's the chosen few for a reason.
Right. They don't
exclusive.
They don't feel it's their duty to witness Judaism to everyone they meet.
Yeah.
They're fine with who they've
That's
already got.
why I like them the most. They're like, nah, you want to buy some bread?
Out of the Abrahamic religions, yes. They're the one that's not as zealous about spreading their religion all over the world. The other two, we know, is a little different.
The other two?
Yeah.
The other two Abrahamic religions, Islam and Christianity, because they're very against, not accepting their religion, and they're very against being an atheist. In Sharia law countries, that's the death sentence right there, being an atheist. So
let's there's the major three Abrahamic religions.
Yeah, there's three.
Do you understand divide and conquer?
What do you mean?
Okay, so the point of divide and conquer is you take something, you take two sides, you pit them against each other, so one person can rule while the other two fight each other. That would be the perfect situation where a divide and conquer worked, and within Abrahamic religions. You just pick the Christians versus the Muslims, right? And then you go and you do what you want to do on your own. Don't even let people in. That would be a great.
I mean, that would be in theory, but that's not totally what happened.
Oh, I'm sure it's not.
While Christians and Muslims were fighting each other, they were both, fighting the Jews at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And a big part of the whole Inquisition was converting Jews to Christianity by torture. So
I don't like that.
Yeah. So I wanted to get into the article here, and this picture is interesting. There's no social distancing. Those masks, I can see a bunch of guys not even wearing them, and I see one with it pulled down under his mouth. Anyway, this is spreading the virus. I guarantee you someone got the virus because of this.
Yeah, looking at this photo gives me anxiety because as someone who's like a hypochondriac, those anti-quarantine protests send shivers down my spine, and seeing this kind of stuff, it gets to me. There's this visceral reaction where it's why? I had to go into the store to pick up my prescription, and I wanted to burn my clothes afterwards. I just don't know how people do this and not think about it. I don't know.
This is within their civil rights, though, right?
Yeah.
Like they.
I mean, I don't know if there's a civil penalty for breaking quarantine in the city of New York. I don't know. I don't think so, though. I remember de Blasio just kind of like wagging a finger at him.
Everybody says that it's unconstitutional to deny them their meetup, right? Like
I don't believe it is.
Yeah, I mean, under certain circumstances, like if it's for the public health and safety, then I don't necessarily think so. I think there's like a different standard that you should apply. Like, I don't know what the penalty is. I think different cities would be different. I don't necessarily think that there really is a penalty for individuals. I think it mostly just applies to businesses as far as I know. So, I mean, there's not really much that they can do. It's just we all have to sit back in horror and watch as the virus spreads.
All of these religions believe that God is omnipotent. Why do you need to go anywhere to worship him? Literally, you can do it anywhere.
Well, this is more to, like, memorialize the rabbi that died.
That's still a religious ceremony, right?
Yeah, but it's not about God here, right? It's about
I think it is.
The rabbi.
The rabbi's about God.
Well,
the whole reason all these guys dress the same is about God. This is all about God to them.
Even those little curls on the side of their head is about God?
All of it. The whole way they dress here is all about their religion, and they abstain from a lot of things, like total kosher
That shit was crazy
diet.
when I saw it on TV. So many people got infected.
Yeah,
They
that's
did get
crazy.
infected?
And that's PT Ham. He actually lives in New York.
Yeah.
They abstain from even doing certain things on the Sabbath day, like they can't work or anything like that. So they're very strict in the traditional laws of Judaism.
Oh yeah. Thousands of Orthodox Jewish mourners crowded a Brooklyn street Tuesday night, flouting the city's social distancing rules to mourn a rabbi who died of coronavirus. The mourners packed the road at Routledge Street and Belford Avenue, surrounding NYPD vehicles, trying to break up the throng. At its peak, about 2,500 attended the funeral, which started at 7 p.m. and lasted until 9 p.m., a New York Police Department spokeswoman said. Videos and photos posted to social media showed the crowd stretching across several city blocks. Though several in attendance wore blue surgical masks, photos showed others with uncovered faces.
Yeah. What did the mayor say?
An angry Mayor de Blasio said on Twitter he was so disturbed by the scene that he showed up in person to try and disperse the crowd. My dude, yeah, just add to the numbers.
Why is that a good idea?
I was so mad. I went down there. I had a big old ham, and I started eating in front of him.
Oh my God!
I wanted to run him off. Well, why would he go down there? Something absolutely unacceptable happened in Williamsburg tonight, a large funeral gathering in the middle of this pandemic, de Blasio tweeted. When I heard, I went there myself to ensure the crowd was dispersed, and what I saw will not be tolerated so long as we are fighting the coronavirus.
Yeah, here in Washington, the place that got hit first and had the most deaths, we're not even in the top 15 anymore because we did everything right here. Like, you know, there's a few idiots still out and about, but I mean, for the most part, everything's locked down. Everyone, I'll go to the grocery store, 100% people wearing masks there.
Really?
Yeah, the ones around here, yes.
It's not 100% when I go.
I believe it. In the city of Seattle, yes, I believe it.
Yeah, I go to the north end, and I'll go to like Whole Foods, and there'll be like 30% of people with masks. And
that's mind-blowing.
Yeah. And it's Whole Foods, too. You'd think everybody was more about their business.
Hoity-toity?
Yeah, you spend a little extra money on your damn cabbage. You might as well wear a mask.
Yeah.
So as of Tuesday night, no one was arrested or issued summonses for violating social distancing rules, the spokeswoman said. De Blasio added, "My message to the Jewish community and all communities is this simple. The time for warnings has passed. I have instructed the New York Police Department to proceed immediately to summons or even arrest those who gather in large groups. This is about stopping the disease and saving lives, period."
Yeah, so there's a point where it overrides religious freedom. when it comes to public health. Just like how you can't yell fire in a crowded theater and all that stuff. Those are all dangers to public health.
Well, everybody keeps telling me that it's unconstitutional, even during a crisis like this, to deny people gathering.
I mean, it's unconstitutional to limit free speech, but we still have reasonable limitation on free speech. So it's the same idea.
Okay.
When it's a danger to people.
Yeah, I mean, this is like reckless endangerment. So I feel like there should be consequences for this. And it's ironic that they're mourning him and he died of coronavirus. Like, shouldn't that make it seem more serious to you? But instead you gather. It's this kind of stuff is like, it makes me lose faith in humanity because I think about like climate change and whatever other like crazy shit's going to happen. And if we can't even deal with like a pandemic, like one issue at a time, and after like a month, we're already losing our shit, humanity has no hope. I'm kind of doomer lately, so forgive me.
And all those people that are pushing to people to go back to work because the economy, they don't understand that this can cause the economy to be down even longer. It can cause an overall longer downtime for everything. But they don't. It's always so short term with some people. They don't see the big picture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's really frustrating to me because like the people mostly right wing, but there's some left wing people who are calling on everything to reopen back up. But that's not the right message. Like, you shouldn't be trying to tell people that their civil liberties are being violated. Like, the message should be, like, call your legislator and tell them to cancel rent and give you a universal basic income, at least throughout the duration of this. Like, it should be take action, safely to make your government responsive, not, like, go back to work so you can die and get sick. Like, it's the wrong message, and it's so frustrating.
Right. And look at this. I'm not a big fan of de Blasio. I didn't think he even was qualified to run for president. I'm not a fan. But it's messed up that people here are doing the anti-Semitism card against him for saying that this is wrong. He's not attacking their religion. It could have been any group of people. Yeah,
totally.
Yeah,
this is what the weaponization of like identity politics looks like, and where it goes wrong, where you use a get out of jail free card when that you're kind of like sidestepping the issue at hand. Like, it's not anti-Semitism, it's like recklessness what they're doing, and to not speak out, I think he wouldn't be doing his duty as a mayor. And like, I agree, like I don't like Bill de Blasio as well. I think he's basically a huckster, but like here he has no choice. Like, these deaths and sicknesses will be on his hands, like, under his watch. So he has an interest in stopping this.
Do you think that kind of like what happened post 9/11, that there was an investigation to see who was negligent in causing so many unnecessary deaths? Do you think there will be something like that about coronavirus?
I mean, possibly. This could really go in a number of ways, right? Because after 9/11, we saw things get worse for the United States, like a crackdown on civil liberties with the Patriot Act, like, the erosion of the Fourth and Eighth Amendments. And so, like, we can go one of two ways, and it's probably going to be the bad way, unfortunately.
1945,
oh, sorry. Here comes a donation.
In his bunker. Today in 1998, I was born, which was the more important event.
Happy birthday.
Love you guys.
Happy birthday.
Who
Happy
is
Hitler Death Day.
Because we know the corporatists aren't going to let.
Happy Kilo comes into this world day.
I'm sorry, Mike. What were you saying?
No, so I was going to say, like, this can go one of two ways in terms of, like, what the response will be. Either we see another post 9/11 crackdown on civil rights and civil liberties, and not, like, telling people to go back in their homes during social distancing, like a real crackdown, right? Where there's, like, greater wiretapping. I mean, there's countless possibilities. A crackdown on the internet. Like, we don't know what our government will come up with. Or we can go in the correct direction and realize the necessity of healthcare, of rent control and whatnot, and these types of social safety net programs. So that way the entire fucking economy doesn't collapse if something like this happens again. And, with the way that things have been going, with the incompetence of both parties and how they're sociopathic and psychopathic, I can't not anticipate like the worst option, like the worst timeline playing out. So it's kind of a scary time.
Yeah, I can't help but wonder if the Democrats try to hold Trump responsible. Not that he wasn't responsible. But I'm wondering if that's going to happen. The way he
They'll probably
downplayed
try,
it,
but it won't work.
the way he downplayed it, the way he said it was just going to go away once the weather got warmer, which it has, and it's more prevalent than ever, right? I'm wondering if they're going to try to find a way to hold him accountable for that. But I don't know if that's even possible.
It'd be
Yeah, you know what? I've been kind of coming up with a new theory, and this is speculation. I can't prove it. It feels like they don't actually want Trump to lose. Like, if you're like a House Democrat, if you're Nancy Pelosi, Donald Trump is such a great way to raise money. You send out another email about what he's doing, and then you rally the troops to donate to you, and that's what appeases their donors, like raising money. So with how incompetent they've been when they could be hitting Donald Trump. I mean, like, you can look at a policy like rent cancellation, and you could just introduce your own standalone bill. You don't have to attach it to like the bailout to the tune of, trillions of dollars for industry. And you could just bludgeon Republicans over the head with it. But they're not doing anything. I mean, Nancy Pelosi finally said, oh, we should consider something of that nature, a UBI temporarily. It's like, okay, if you're only thinking about that now and it's just a consideration, it's not happening. So, there's incompetence on both sides. And with how feckless leadership is in the party, I can't see them. Like, they can try to hold Donald Trump accountable. I assume Biden will try to hit him. But it's not gonna work. I mean, Donald Trump and the Republican Party, they're so effective and disciplined at the message that if one person says it, you see everyone on Fox News saying it, other Republicans saying it. So no matter what they try to do or say, even if they wanted to really hit him, and they could, I just don't see it working at this point because they're so painfully and just embarrassingly weak.
Tim Pool was on Joe Rogan the other day talking against the UBI, using this as the pandemic as a reason why the UBI couldn't work.
I saw a little of that. Did the whole thing with Reactor get brought up?
I didn't watch the whole thing.
Okay.
I just saw that clip. I was.
It's just funny because, like, we know Tim Pool's younger brother, and, like, he's suing his brother. He's suing his brother.
Really?
Yes. And it's funny because, like, when he makes the announcement that he's going to sue his brother, he comes on our show and talks about it.
It was kind of cute because he was talking about like what was going on. He's like, "Yeah, mom talked to him and got mad," and it's like, "Oh, it's so sad because they're brothers." And I know how much Chris loved Tim.
Yeah, Chris Poole like looked up to his brother so much, and now he's alleging that Tim basically stole the company that he started away from him and registered it under a new name in another state.
It wasn't even a new name, really?
Oh, no, yeah. You know what? It was the same name, but it was in a different state under his name and leaving Chris out of it.
Yeah.
And now it's like there's a whole lawsuit over it. Everyone on Tim Pool's side is like, well, he didn't do any work. It's like, well, unfortunately, if you don't have an agreement, if you don't have clearly defined duties when you own a business with someone, you can't just take it away from them because they didn't do a certain amount of work. There's no benchmarks for how much work you have to do if it's not in an operating agreement.
There's also those videos of Tim saying how what work his brother did put into it as well. So like there is some history of him acknowledging the work that he had done on the build up. I want to read this quote from Councilman Douche.
Sure.
Councilman Douche says, "What? This has to be a joke. Did the mayor of New York City really just single out one specific ethnic community, a community that has been the target of increasing hate crimes in his city, as being non-compliant? Has he been to a park lately? What am I saying? Of course he has. Has de Blasio been to a park lately? Are they still congregating in the parks?"
I'm still laughing about how you called it douche.
That's Councilman Douche, right?
It's Deutsch. That literally means German in German.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Until you said it, then it's like, I didn't get that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll move on to the next thing here. This is... Has there been other... But before we move on, have there been other huge gatherings of this magnitude in New York City that the mayor could have called out?
I'm not sure. I know I've saw pictures of Times Square looking really empty.
Yes.
I was in New York like a week or two before the shutdown, and I went to Washington Square. I was in Times Square. I was in Union Square, Station Square. I was all over the big parks, and there was tons of people out then, and there was the murmurs of it being a state of. It wasn't a full pandemic yet. It was like right before the pandemic was announced, March 11th. I left there March 9th. But it was in a state of emergency, and people were going out just fine, coughing and playing and kissing and hugging and farting all around the place.
Ooh. That same week, I traveled up to Vancouver, British Columbia. So me and him were both traveling. But I one thing I will say is that when I crossed the border up into Canada, they at least asked if I had been feeling sick lately. You know. And when I came back to the U.S., nobody asked me anything about that whatsoever. Nothing pertaining to that. Yeah. Here's Trump wants meatpacking plants to stay open. Now, there was reports that we could reach a shortage if these plants remain closed long enough, but they've become cesspools of disease.
Hold on. Meatpacking plants. Does this make my meat eating a plant-based lifestyle if it comes from a meatpacking plant?
Yeah.
All right. Catch-22 veganisms. U.S. President Donald Trump has ordered meat processing plants to stay open to protect the nation's food supply amid the coronavirus pandemic. He invoked a Korean War-era law. Shout out to Kim Jong-un, the ghost of Kim Jong-un and his hot sister, his Martin Shkreli-looking fox of a sister. He invoked a Korean War-era law.
She does look like Martin Shkreli.
Like a fuckable female Shkreli.
Oh!
What?
Is that like, you feel the same way about her like you do Ben Shapiro's sister?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Billy has
I've never
a crush
seen
on.
Ben Shapiro's sister.
Oh my God, she is
attractive,
top tier,
and
feminine
she's like
woman.
an opera singer too.
And there's like this cam girl who looks just like her. And
yes, that's true. There is a cam girl that looks just like her that had nudes leaked, and everyone thought it was her.
And
at
it's amazing because she has the type of boobs that are like very rare, very rare. So for there to be,
you sound like JF.
She has
talking about
very rare boobs. And so if you have a cam girl that looks just like you with the exact same very rare boobs, that's 2 in a million right there. How possible is that? If I was Ben Shapiro, I would be an angry little man just because of how hot my sister was. I'd be like, she's so hot and so close to me, and I have to. She's my sister. And that's why he's so mad. It was what I'm saying at the world. He's angry because he's got a hot sister that he has to look at all the time. Be reminded that's his sister. If I was him, I would date that cam girl just to alleviate the fact that my sister was hot. Because then,
oh my God, no!
I'd be like, no, it's cool, guys. Not my sister. Looks just like her. 1 in a million boobs. Not my sister though. No. Okay, so he invoked a Korean War-era law from the 1950s to mandate that the plants continue to function amid industry warnings of strain on the supply chain. An estimated 3,300 U.S. meat packing workers have been diagnosed with coronavirus, and 20 have died.
Yes, but we need we need a 70-year-old law. You know.
From a 70-something-year-old man. My dude. The UN last month warned the emergency threatened global food supply chains. 22 U.S. meatpacking plants across the American Midwest have closed during the outbreak. They include slaughterhouses owned by the nation's biggest poultry, pork, and beef producers, such as Smithfield Foods, Tyson Foods, Cargill, and JBS USA. Can we all agree in this times of need to stop eating meat and we can just have Carville cakes, like Fudgy the Whale cakes, sent to us instead?
Carville cakes?
Let them eat cake, yeah. Let them eat cake. Let's do it. That's not keto.
I've been kind of like going a little bit into vegetarianism a lot more. Like I'm not a vegetarian, but instead of like getting like chicken nuggets, I'll get the vegetarian option, and it's pretty damn good. So yeah, because anything like I've been doing like where you order online and you get the pickup at my local grocery store, and they're out of a lot of meats, like Tyson chicken and whatnot. So I've been sticking with like the vegetarian substitutes, and they're good. They're good. I'd say we don't need meat, especially if how much was it? Was it 30,000 or 3,000 cases?
3,300 cases with 20 deaths.
Yeah, holy shit.
3,300 cases.
Yeah.
I just want to shout out also, if you guys are near a Burger King, check your Burger King. They might have 2 for $6 Impossible Whoppers right now as a deal. That's double the Whopper fun with no meat. It's impossible. It's impossible price for Impossible Whopper, and we're not getting paid to say that.
I'm not getting paid, but I will say the Impossible Whopper is pretty damn good. I was shocked.
Yeah, I tried one, and because I never had an Impossible Burger before, and I was like, I used to love the Whopper. Let's go to town and try out this Impossible Whopper, and it tasted good. I was very surprised.
Yeah, I hate Burger King usually because it like tears up my stomach. And, it just gives you explosive diarrhea every single time. Like anyone I talk to know that Burger King is awful. But the Impossible Whopper, it's a different story.
It won't tear up your stomach and give you explosive diarrhea. And we're not being paid to say that.
I think we proved that we're not shilling.
Oh, God. Man drinks cleaning product because of advice he received.
In Topeka, Kansas.
Sounds legit.
Oh, why Topeka? Why? Tell me it was one of the Westboro Baptist Church members. Tell me there's a silver lining to this cloud. Kansas health officials report an uptick in cleaning chemical cases, said Dr. Lee Norman, the secretary of the Kansas Department of Health and Environment, on Monday. Dr. Norman said he reached out to the head of Kansas Poison Control, who said there had been an increase of more than 40% in the cases, including a fellow who over the weekend who drank a product because of the advice he received. So we're doing what we can to counter message against that kind of remedy, said Dr. Norman. The increase comes after President Donald Trump made a comment last week suggesting that disinfectant could be injected to treat COVID-19. Could be injected? What's injected? Is that
ingested?
Like you left in the type.
Yeah, but it says injected together.
I have no idea.
I feel like that's a typo.
I hope it's a typo, because maybe all the people that are just ingesting or just injecting are doing it wrong, and we all should try to inject. Don't do it. Don't. The day after making the comment, President Trump said he was being sarcastic. Oh, good old Trump, that jokester. His sarcasm's through the roof. I love it when he does it during presidential addresses. It's really funny, dude. Good job. The Clorox company and the parent company for Lysol both put out statements saying their products should not be consumed. Reminder, Lysol disinfectant and hygiene products should only be used as directed and in line with usage guidelines. They give a list of improper use of disinfectants here. I don't see anything about boofing Lysol.
Good. Why are you bringing it up then?
Boofing Lysol?
Yeah. No. I'm not asking what it is. I know what it is. I'm asking you why you're finding a way to bring it up.
I'm just saying they should put something in here. Don't boof Lysol.
No.
Are you being sarcastic?
I forgot how much I love that word.
No. We have to spell it out for America right now. We're in a time of great duress. I don't boof Lysol, guys. Don't do it.
Don't boof. Don't stick it in your pee hole.
Don't Councilman douche.
I saw a chainsaw once that had a warning label saying "Do not stop chain with hand" on it. Yeah.
I feel like even though it's stupid, we do need them in America. We need these types of warnings.
Good old days. I'm not going to read the improper use of disinfectants, right?
I mean, if you want.
I don't want to, no. I want everybody at home to read the improper use of disinfectants and mental reminder to add no boofing of said Lysol. Please don't. Don't huff and puff that magic dragon. Well, a little side note about Topeka, Kansas. Did you know Topeka, Kansas was once renamed Google, Kansas?
As like a weird promotional thing?
Yes. Google. So I wonder what Topeka's ties into the underworld are. How did I get that? I've been to Topeka a couple times.
I mean, there's a city in New Mexico called Truth or Consequences that was named after a popular game show at the time. So they've done that's. I guess that's something that happens.
I prefer Truth or Consequences to Topeka, Kansas, and I've never been to Truth or Consequences. North Fond du Lac man accused of using stolen underwear to set fires. Look at the face on this gentleman. Was he not born for the mugshot? This guy looks like Elijah
I feel like
Wood.
the crime fits him, looking at his face.
He looks like Elijah Wood in the movie Sin City. You ever watch Sin City? It's
a while ago.
Elijah Wood plays a particularly horrible character. This guy's got bitter beer face.
Is that a mullet I see, or just like long hair?
It's kind of a mullet. It's like the beginnings of a mullet.
It's party in the back, party in the front. Fond du Lac County, Wisconsin. A North Fond du Lac man is accused of using stolen underwear to set several fires in the county. Michael L. Miller, 43, has been charged in Fond du Lac County with 27 counts, including arson and possession of child pornography. Okay.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Details. Fuck. Details of the case will reveal the criminal complaint obtained by Action 2 News. Miller, who was officially charged in Fond du Lac County. How many times are they going to say Fond du Lac County? Because I've said it 17 times. I'm tired of saying Fond du Lac County. Court today is being held on a $200,000 bail. Did Mercedes Carrera have a bail? She had no bail, right? Or was it $1 million?
She had a bail, but she's not. Actually, no, she was without bail because of the seriousness.
This Fond du Lac County panty burner has $200,000. On March 19th, about 3 a.m., fire was reported at a vacant home in the 200 block of North Military Road in Fond du Lac. Several fires were set on March 20th. Investigators reported a fire at the home, Lakeshore Drive in Fond du Lac County. An 88-year-old woman was in the home. Smoke detectors went off, and she was able to escape. Investigators determined the fire had been lit on the outside near a window. 3 other suspicious fires were set in that day in the village of North Fond du Lac. A vacant mobile home on Meadowlark Court was damaged by fire. A vacant home was damaged. And this is all on March 20th. This guy's getting it in. A vacant home was damaged on Clinton Street. Investigators said the fire was similar in origin to the one on Lakeshore Drive. Men's underwear were found at a back window. In the 700 block of Main Avenue, a woman's bra was stuffed.
I keep checking to make sure this isn't in Florida.
No, man, it's in Fond du Lac. We've said it 78 times now. A woman's bra was stuffed into the furnace exhaust PVC pipe. A child's swimsuit was stuffed into the intake PVC pipe of the furnace. Both items were lit on fire. The fire damaged the pipes before it went out. Suspect identified. North Fond du Lac police were able to identify Michael Miller as a suspect. He had known ties to a resident on Main Avenue and a resident on Meadowlark Court. During an interview, Miller admitted intentionally starting fires in the county, according to the complaint. I don't know what his motive was for targeting the specific homes, but there is no known connection between the homes and the suspect that I'm aware of, said Fond du Lac County Sheriff Ryan Winschmidt. Officers examined Miller's phone and found thousands of images of pornography. Some of those images were identified.
I hate it when people are judged based on how they look. I hate the whole like, oh, he looks like a rapist. But this guy, man, he's making it hard. He's making it hard for me to be like,
I kind of want to like.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like he sounds like Ben Shapiro, and I don't know if the video has like an interview with him, but I want to hear his voice because I feel like it would match up with the Ben Shapiro voice, just basing on like what he looks like.
There was a guy we were covering on our show a lot who was on YouTube who was admittingly a wannabe child molester. Like he basically admitted it. And he created this Discord server, and all of the minor attracted persons saw him as their hero, and started to congregate in this Discord server. And me and Billy went in there and argued with them for a little while one night, and they all sounded like they inhaled helium before they talked to us. They all had like voices like this.
They all represented the Lollipop Guild.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yep.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. It was bad.
We're doomed.
Several of those images were identified as cheese pizza. Sheriff Winterschmidt adds, my understanding is he didn't take any of them or admit to taking any of them, but in either case, a child somewhere in the world has been victimized by this. Another reason we're happy to have this person off the streets. They also found an image of a large fire. Miller stated he would take underwear from laundromats and use it to start fires, according to the criminal complaint.
I don't know what more can be said about this, but the picture says a lot.
Man. I just want to say that this does not represent the entire population of Fond du Lac.
People send me these stories, and I have to double check to make sure it's not The Onion or anything like that. Like this man busted for taking his fish on a walk during pandemic.
What does that look like? Like, are we talking? He's got the bowl, like a goldfish, or is he putting it on a leash? Like,
I hope he's not just dragging a salmon down the street. that'd be nuts. This is in Spain.
Okay.
Yeah, there's the little dip bowl. Sometimes people get a bit stir crazy in the middle of a coronavirus lockdown. An unidentified man in northern Spain was busted this week for taking his fish on a walk in its bowl. He appeared to be trying to take advantage of a rule allowing pet owners to leave their homes so that their pets can relieve themselves. Oh, no.
Wow.
The National Police tweeted a picture of the fishy suspect with his finned friend sitting in a bowl on a bench.
Yeah, I do see the fish in the bowl.
Policía Nacional says, agentes de la policía han sancionado a una persona por salir a pasear a sus peces por la calle. Los agentes le estuvieron en el Logroño portando un pasero en contra de lo estupendo en el orden del estado de alarma. A hashtag este virus lo paramos unidos. Oh, sorry. Spain is under a state of emergency, greatly limiting when residents can leave their homes. Last month, police in Murcia caught a man in a T-Rex costume roaming the city streets. Whoa, we got a video!
Yeah. Oh, they're just playing kind of weird music. He's trying to get away.
The cop's got his selfie camera out. He took a little photo. Man, if he outran the cops in a T-Rex suit, can we give him an award for that? Yeah, that's cute.
Maybe he's wearing a mask underneath.
Oh,
or unless they're still not allowed.
I thought he was running off.
He was leaving. He was allowed to leave.
Cop's like, hey, Papa.
Am I being detained?
Go home. Go home. This quote here. The department posted a video of the encounter to the theme from Jurassic Park.
Yeah, that's what that music was.
During the state of alert, pets are allowed to walk accompanied by a person, always with short walks to relieve themselves. Their tweet said, having a Tyrannosaurus Rex is not covered. Cute.
Interesting. This is so weird.
Owner of Fats Pizza in Atascadero robs Fats Pizza in Paso Robles at gunpoint, police say.
So the owner of one franchise of this same pizza place robbed another one.
You'd think he'd break colors and go rob like Domino's or something. You think he was running low on like a particular brand of meat they serve at their restaurant, so he knew he had to go to another Fats Pizza and rob them for that, like chorizo or something? He knew they'd have it in stock. Paso Robles police say the owner of Fats Pizza in Atascadero robbed Fats Pizza in Paso Robles Sunday night. According to police, they responded to reports of an armed robbery at Fats Pizza in Paso Robles on the 150 block of Niblick Road at around 10:15 p.m. Employees in the restaurant at the time say a man armed with a gun came in and stole money from the registers. The employees say the suspect asked them to turn off the lights and told them to go to the rear of the building. He said, turn off the lights. We got to cut costs. Oh, sorry. I thought it was my store. No, you leave the lights on, guys. And go to the rear of the building. The two employees eventually fled out the back door and saw a white Tundra flee the scene. Police say deputies with the San Luis Obispo County Sheriff's Office found a truck matching the description at an In-N-Out in Atascadero. Deputies performed a felony stop where 38-year-old Daryl Allen of Atascadero was taken into custody. Police say Allen told them he is the owner of the Fats Pizza in Atascadero. Upon their search of the vehicle, police found a gun, large amounts of cash, along with drug paraphernalia. Allen was taken into custody for robbery, kidnapping due to forcing the employees into a different location of the restaurant, and several weapon charges. Fats Pizza are all owned independently and operated separately. Well...
Yeah, that's why he robbed. It'd be like the owner of one 7-Eleven robbing another 7-Eleven. Yeah.
Stay off my block.
Maybe that's what it is. You see this?
Oh, no.
He got caught not wearing pants. The camera angle was too far out.
My dude.
And you know who this is? This is Christopher Reeve's son.
Really?
The guy who played Superman?
Is it?
Yes.
Hold up. Do his legs work?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. He has no excuse not to have pants on then.
Yep.
During this time of COVID-19 induced home quarantine and social distancing, hopping on a video chat to talk to coworkers, friends, and family is a regular occurrence. While the need to look presentable has petered out, he's got no pants on. They use the term petered out.
His Peter was out.
Better not. Better not. A potentially disastrous combination. I, for one, have had many a pantless Zoom call or during a video chat with my therapist. But the key to succeeding in such a risky, lazy venture is to always make sure the camera is angled in such a way that your bits won't be on display to your shady coworkers or your poor grandma. On Tuesday, ABC's Will Reeve didn't get the memo. Can I point out another cute little joke here that most people probably won't get, and the writer didn't even get himself? Memo is Spanish for will.
Oh, really?
His name's Will Reeve. They said memo.
Like Will and Testament, like last Will and Testament.
like William.
William?
Short, yeah, Guillermo. Memo is short for
Guillermo.
Guillermo.
Yeah.
Memo. Will William. It's cute. That's cute. It's cute little joke there. That probably wasn't intended. Sorry. After finishing up a Good Morning America segment about drones delivering medicine to patients, Reeve was seen sitting in a study wearing a collared shirt and suit jacket on top of very little below.
If you're gonna bother to put a suit jacket on, you might as well throw pants on. I don't know why he thought he'd get away with it.
If you don't have to.
Maybe he's an exhibitionist and he pretended like this is...
He probably wanted to flash that dick. What if they caught him halfway in between changing back into Clark Kent Jr.?
See, he's saying, oh, they're shorts, I promise. So he's claiming he was just wearing shorts.
Yeah, my guy's just kicking it in some bicycle shorts. I have arrived in the most hilariously mortifying way possible. On Tuesday afternoon, Reeve tweeted a Notes app statement, a move usually reserved for celebrities apologizing for saying something offensive. In it, he mostly owns up to the fact that his wardrobe choice was not the most morning news friendly. Trying to be efficient.
Oh, yeah, that's...
Trying to be efficient,
Yeah, right.
I got ready for a post-GMA workout a little too soon this morning. The camera angle, along with friends, family, and several hundred strangers on social media, made me rethink my morning routine. Any sartorial tips from these people who are wearing a belt, trousers, and shoes during their work video calls at home are most welcome. Now back to work wearing pants.
I don't buy that those were shorts. They were clearly boxers. Like, those shorts are a little bit too short.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think you should own it. You know, I think it's funny. It's fine.
Yeah, it's not like his penis was hanging out or something.
If he had like one rogue testicle slid out one of the legs, we'd have a problem.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not a big deal. So I don't think you should try to make up some type of, oh, I was just wearing short. No, you weren't. It's okay though. It's cool.
His dad played Superman while wearing his underwear on the outside of his pants. So
that's right. That's right.
We've seen the Reeves family's underwear too many times. Too many times between his dad's superhero outfit and his Good Morning America appearance. Where the hell are the women in this family? Why aren't they in their unders? Mystery person in Black Death plague costume, terrifying community.
This is kind of like the clown thing that was happening.
Oh, dude.
When the random scary clowns were popping up everywhere.
Can we get plague doctors popping up everywhere now? Can that be the new thing? Because I'd shit my pants if I saw one of these walk by my house.
Yeah, I think this is in the UK. Yeah, see him walking?
I'm the plague doctor.
That is kind of ominous looking.
Yeah.
He walks like an asshole, though. He should be a little more. His arm shouldn't be swinging. Come on, man. Keep it together. I don't know. I expect
if he was like prancing around, it wouldn't be as creepy looking. But he's kind of walking like, I don't know. I can see that giving people the heebie-jeebies.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know if we should read through this whole story because it's like, yeah, we know a guy's walking around in a plague doctor outfit.
What if he was roller skating around in a plague doctor outfit? Would that be better?
This is like
I think it would.
This is like one step above Santa Cruz Joker, I think. Like, you know, just weirdos that go around dressed as superheroes for fun.
You think he's a plague doctor for fun?
Yeah.
He's going out and bringing out people's dead for fun?
Well, he's going out and playing upon the fact that there's essentially a plague going on.
They're telling us
right
to
now.
wear masks.
Yeah.
They're telling us to wear gloves. I can wear my plague doctor gloves and mask. I think it's okay. NYPD arrests QAnon conspiracist who allegedly threatened to kill Joe Biden. Had car full of knives. The New York City Police Department arrested a conspiracy theorist who issued death threats against former Vice President and current Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden and allegedly traveled to the city carrying over a dozen knives, the Daily Beast reported. The suspect also live-streamed her own arrest on Facebook. Cute! New York State has strict laws pertaining to knives, and the woman arrested, 37-year-old Jessica Prim, is facing 18 charges of criminal possession of a weapon and an additional marijuana possession charge.
Oh, my God.
She's a pothead. No wonder. According to the New York Daily News, officers said that she drove her car down a service road on Pier 86 near the USS Intrepid on April 29th and began acting erratically enough that a security guard phoned the police. At that point, law enforcement said they learned the Secret Service was searching for her after she threatened Biden live on Facebook. According to the Daily Beast, Prim's Facebook page was chock full of references to QAnon, a ludicrous and labyrinthian conspiracy theory asserting that the so-called deep state, meaning both the massive military intelligence complex known as the Blob and any number of other nefarious actors.
There's so many legitimate reasons to criticize Joe Biden and most other politicians. I don't get why people have to make up this New World Order stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Makeup.
Like, life is crazy enough to where it's like, you don't need these conspiracy theories to be entertained. Like, shit's crazy.
Right.
Democratic Party officials are satanic, Jewish, communist, Illuminati, pedophiles, take your pick, who engage in the ritual sacrifice of children. QAnon is based around anonymous 4chan posts from a person or persons unknown who claim to be high-level government sources informed that Donald Trump is preparing to round up Play-Doh-philes and his other political enemies en masse in a crackdown called The Storm. This is supposedly a good thing. Supposedly. Shortly before her arrest, the Daily Beast reported Prim posted on Facebook saying Hillary Clinton and her assistant Joe
I
Biden...
laugh so much trough Billy's jokes. It hurts me to smile. Hi, Ben.
Hi.
Hi, Sam. Shortly before her arrest, the Daily Beast reported Prim posted on Facebook saying Hillary Clinton and her assistant Joe Biden and Tony Podesta need to be taken out in the name of Babylon. I can't be set free without them gone. Wake me up.
Okay.
That's weird.
Yeah,
that's really weird.
My torment will never subside.
I'm okay with conspiracy theories, but I don't like it when people LARP around them.
Right. They're talking like they're at the Renaissance Festival or something.
It's one thing if they just get together in like medieval garb and sell turkey legs.
Pretend like they're a blacksmith or something.
Yeah, if all those knives in the car were like hand forged and she was going to sell them, that'd be pretty chill. You can't roll up on Joe Biden's house with knives thinking he's not at least going to tickle your fucking leg hairs.
I love this next one. This is great.
Woman mistakes WWE NWO shirt for conspiracy theory, tries to call out Walmart. Oh my God, I love this. The New World Order, aka NWO, found itself in the news on Sunday, but not for anything of its former members did or said. Instead,
right. The New World Order, the pro wrestling thing has been out for like 25 years.
But not for anything any of its former members did or said. Instead, the group found itself in a case of mistaken identity, one that wrestling fans found to be quite funny. A female Walmart customer, God, I love Walmart, took to Facebook over the weekend with a photo of a new NWO shirt WWE is currently selling in stores, which shows off the classic 3-letter logo with "For Life" stamped underneath it. The woman seemed to mistake the shirt as some sort of political statement being pushed by global elites. The post was later deleted, but not before screenshots were taken. Check out the full post below. This is my buddy here, James Vanderbeek.
Oh,
this is my buddy. He's here. He lives here in Seattle.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He's a good dude.
I'm pulling up the original post. Here's the screenshot of the post.
Now found in your local Walmart stores. Global elites pushing for the NWO New World Order, which includes one world leader, one world religion, one world currency, and one world government. Time to show Walmart what we think. Hashtag support small business.
See, this is the kind of thing I would see and think it was a troll because it's that ridiculous.
Yeah. At least there's like no pictures of wrestlers on it, because I was expecting like, I don't know, The Undertaker or some shit, but it's just like letters. So, but I mean, I'm kind of with you on this. It's got to be a troll.
yeah, it's ridiculous.
The NWO ran wild over WCW from 1996 to 2000 in various forms before eventually making its way to WWE in 2002. The group, represented by Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Shawn X-Pac 123 Kid Waltman, was supposed to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame as part of the class of 2020. But the ceremony was postponed.
So Vince McMahon bought this off of Ted Turner back in 2001, and it's just him cashing in on something he bought 20 years ago.
We say that. But let's be honest. This is a world takeover from the global elites. And it's hiding behind the 24-inch pythons of Hulk Hogan, brother. The ceremony was postponed due to the coronavirus pandemic. The faction made somewhat of a comeback at WrestleMania 36. Okay. Oh.
It's weird how this article is mostly just the history of the NWO. It should just be about the ridiculous's of this post.
It should be about the history of the New World Order. Because I want to point out, before WCW created the New World Order, just a mere year, 3 years before they created the New World Order, Ben, where was the biggest peace summit held? WCW was a part of just 2 years before the NWO was created. Where was it held, Ben? North Korea. North Korea, Ben.
It was.
WCW met up in North Korea with Muhammad Ali,
Antonio Inoki,
Ric Flair.
Yep.
Had the largest assembled wrestling crowd ever.
Why are we talking about this?
And then after leaving North Korea, they start the New World Order, which kills off the World Championship Wrestling, makes its way into WWF, infiltrates WWF. Who is the WWF Hall of Famer that is now President of the United States of America, Ben? That's right, Donald Trump. Hall of Fame, WWE Donald Trump. The New World Order is real, Ben. It started that day in North Korea. This woman's fucking right. Look it up. Look it up. Did I tell a lie?
Do you see this?
Federal judge halts sale of industrial bleach as COVID-19 cure from South Florida church. Back to Florida. We finally found one. Finally found one to pin on Florida. A federal judge in Miami issued the order on Friday blocking the sale of an apparent hoax cure for COVID-19, which the Justice Department said was actually industrial-strength bleach. Several Southwest Florida residents, through a self-proclaimed religious entity, had been marketing a master mineral solution on their affiliated website, stating fanciful claims about its potential
So there should be
applications.
criminal charges linked to this.
Yeah. Dare I say a jihad? Is it time? Is it time for a religious war? Is it time?
No, what the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know. The Genesis 2 Church of Health and Healing provided that MMS could alleviate COVID-19 through a sacramental dosing. It instructed adults to take 6 drops of activated MMS in a glass of water over 2 hours.
It's like Jonestown type stuff. They're getting you to drink poison.
But it's 6 drops in a glass of water over 2 hours.
It's bleach.
It's like Munchausen syndrome.
I just literally watched a video about this from Internet Comment Etiquette, where he talks about this MMS, and he did one before as well. And that's all I know about it. It's just like through his videos, but it's like straight culty. Like it's insane. Like there's a guy talking about how he was bit by a bug or something, and he sprayed it on his leg, and it like felt better immediately.
Damn.
It's not normal. Obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. Should we read more about this?
No, we've got
yeah. Don't listen to churches with cures, okay?
So Mike Pence went to a hospital. It really seems like Trump and Pence are not afraid of getting coronavirus at all. Which is strange, given their age. But yeah, so Mike Pence is the only one in this picture not wearing a mask. And he's saying,
to look
yeah.
Because I also wear a mask over my eyes, nose, and mouth. Wow.
Yeah.
Leaving off mask
I don't
at
know
Mayo
how
Clinic.
Trump didn't get COVID.
I don't know. And I always had this weird thing where I was like, what if because they're right next to each other every day now on the Trump show. That's what I call the coronavirus briefings.
Accurate.
And like, what if they both got it and died? Then we'd have to have President Pelosi.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, didn't Bolsonaro, who he was like in contact with, I don't know if he tested positive or if they like hid the results, but he was like sick, and it seemed like Bolsonaro, the president of Brazil, had COVID-19 unconfirmed. But then I was thinking, all right, so Trump was around him, he's got to have it. Boris fucking Johnson had COVID-19, so it's not unthinkable to think that Donald Trump would get it.
Yeah,
but he seems fine. He seems fine.
It's not unthinkable to think that if you're in a clinic, maybe you should have some sort of protection, even if you don't believe it.
When everybody else has it?
Yeah, just to ease everybody else's nerve. Vice President Pence responded to criticisms that he defied Mayo Clinic policy by not wearing a mask during his visit Tuesday to the campus, saying he complied with federal guidelines and felt it was his duty to speak to workers at the facility unencumbered by a facial covering. As Vice President of the United States, I'm tested for the coronavirus on a regular basis, and everyone who is around me is tested for the coronavirus, he told reporters, saying he is following Center for Disease Control and Prevention guidelines.
How many tests get wasted on these people when there's so many people who can't get tested at all?
I mean, not enough to make up for the people that can't get tested. Why not just give them all to fucking Trump and Pence? They can have all the tests. Fuck it.
Yeah, Trump can do what he did in Puerto Rico where he threw out the paper towels. He can throw out coronavirus testing kits.
That'd be nice.
I feel like Pence doesn't think he can get it. Like he's that kind of a like evangelical where he thinks God is literally like protecting him. And I don't know. Like I think like part of me thinks that he doesn't think it's real, in the back of his mind, or at least he thinks that he is shielded from God. That's the type of person he is.
It was weird when I did some research on Pence. I didn't know that he really rose to fame being a right-wing talk radio guy first. That's how he got popular enough to run for governor.
Really?
Yeah. He had a little bit of political experience before that. I think maybe in Congress or maybe even local government. But then he rose to fame being a talk show host, and then he ran for governor. So he was like a Rush Limbaugh almost.
Wow.
Yeah.
The CDC recommends wearing cloth face masks in public to help prevent transmitting the virus to others. And since I don't have the coronavirus, I thought it'd be a good opportunity for me to be here, to be able to speak to these researchers, these incredible healthcare personnel, and look them in the eye and say thank you. Instructions on the Mayo Clinic website request that all patients, visitors, and personnel bring and wear a face mask to help prevent the spread of the coronavirus. In a tweet eventually deleted but captured in screenshots and by the Internet Archive's Wayback Machine, the Mayo Clinic wrote that it had informed the VP of the masking policy prior to his arrival today.
So he just didn't give a shit.
We did inform the VP. We did inform him, but he was like, nah, I got tested.
So
he's such a douche.
For years, I've been talking about how Ohio is better than Michigan. I'm from Ohio originally, and we've had a rivalry for over a century with Michigan. And most of it is sports related, but there's an actual history of actual hostility between Ohio and Michigan going back to like territorial times. But everyone was like, see, Ben, Michigan made weed legal, so Michigan's better than Ohio now. Now look what's going on in Michigan. Michigan's in the top, like, I think 7 states that have the most cases of COVID, and it's one of the lowest populated ones out of all of those. So for some reason, they dropped the ball in Michigan. And did not close things when they should have. So there's like a disproportionate amount of cases and deaths for a state like Michigan that only has like 9 million residents, compared to New York and Texas and the other states that are up there, California.
This is more Michigan hate from you, Benjamin.
It is. And look, and that's where we're seeing the MAGA protests the most.
In Michiganistan.
So a bunch of people stormed the Michigan Capitol today, demanding that they reopen Michigan, even though Michigan's hit one of the worst. Here it is. Hardly any masks, all bunched up together in one room.
How do you think Bill de Blasio would handle this?
Oh, he would. They're not Jewish.
Blasio like, oh, they're just God-fearing Americans. It's fine.
This is the people's house.
I like the ones that showed up but still wore their masks.
I think they're armed too. Didn't they bring guns in?
Some of them brought guns in, yeah.
Yeah, this is trending on Twitter right now.
As Michigan terrorists.
Hashtag Michigan terrorists.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. Yep.
They're saying this, call it what it is. This is terrorism.
This is like...
I wonder how many people own MAGA hats and just like see stuff like this and fold their hat up and put it in like a little box off to the side, not to be looked at again.
Michigan is 7th in cases and 4th in deaths.
God, top 5 for deaths?
For deaths, yeah. All the other places are adjacent to New York State. Michigan's pretty far away from New York State. So it's just that they let it get out of control in their state alone. They didn't take the proper measures. Oh, that's the end of that clip. All right.
It's frustrating how everything has to be like a partisan issue. Like these are clearly like more right wing. It's like this is okay. There was consensus. Like everyone agreed that we need to social distance and self quarantine. Why is this all of a sudden like a thing that like
it's a
MAGA
liberal
people are
thing
doing?
now? Now it's a left-wing thing.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, Trump is the president, so you guys are in power. So theoretically, isn't this like what he did? Like, I get that they're protesting like Democratic governors in a lot of these states, but it just, I don't understand, why does this have to be a political issue? Like, which kind of makes me feel like we're doomed, because like when these types of things happen again, like with climate change, if like we see new diseases once the Arctic ice thaws and shit like that, like we're doomed, because everything is going to be a political issue. You know, wars over water are going to happen and whatnot. And like, this isn't even the worst that could happen to humanity. You know, we've seen like not the worst of it. And I don't know, it makes me lose hope.
Do we think
fucking crazy?
Do we think we're going to get prehistoric diseases out of the ice thaws? Is that,
I mean, I don't know. I'm not like an expert, but there's like articles from I think National Geographic and whatnot that talk about the possibility that they could expose us to prehistoric diseases that we don't have cures from, that are like trapped in the ice basically. And it's like, it's horrifying.
What is this woman doing
so
right now?
This was back in 2018. Now,
okay.
It's kind of funny because this is the one thing me and Mike argued about a little bit when we were talking about the Kavanaugh thing. Now, Kavanaugh may very well have done what he was accused of. The main thing I was arguing was that I knew that going forward, this was going to start becoming a political thing. Like now, I can see it happening again soon. There's going to be anytime someone's running now, the other side's going to accuse them of being a sexual predator, or if someone's getting a big position in government like Kavanaugh was. I just saw it setting a precedent where we're going to see this a lot more, and eventually it's going to be totally unfounded.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I see. I think that there is like fear. There's bad actors. Like, there's, what's that kid's name? Jacob Wohl, where he always like, there's so many people that he's accused. I think he accused Robert Mueller, Pete Buttigieg, Elizabeth Warren of having these like scandalous affairs that are unfounded or whatnot. So it is going to be weaponized politically, but the problem is that like you can go back just 2 years ago, like, and see tweets like this. And now it like anyone who thought like the Christine Blasey Ford thing was just, oh, this is Democrats trying to get a Republican. Well, now they're kind of proving those people right who thought that, because they're completely inconsistent. Like, there's like nothing about the Tara Reade allegation from like main Democrats, like Hillary Clinton, Obama. None of them said it. So, I mean, the people's worst fears in a way are being confirmed because Democrats are such like awful fucking hypocrites.
This is a political device now. Sexual assault allegations are seen as a political device. You use it against your enemies and you ignore it when it's against the people on your team. That's what's happening now. And this is a new precedent.
There's no standard that they apply. There's no standard. It's like what I think should happen is whenever these things come forward, you have some sort of standard, some procedure, right? You call for an investigation. You put as much information as you have out to the American people and let them decide. But like the way that things have gone about, like with this story, what was it like? I think it was 18 or 19 days after the news broke about her allegation, that the New York Times covered it, to where they had to put out a separate article explaining why they were silent for so long. So it's like they were saying the same things that I think were correct. Oh, well, we need to do this, this, and that. And then here, when it's on their own team, Democrats and whatnot, all of a sudden, all of that rhetoric is out the door. So it's so frustrating.
Yeah, and here's a news story about how I guess Pelosi said she was satisfied with Biden's story. Let's see.
A story involving a sexual assault allegation against Joe Biden, which he denies. A new person coming forward to vouch for the woman who made this accusation. The allegation by a former Senate aide to Biden, Tara Reade, who alleges that Biden sexually assaulted her in a Senate building in 1993. The New York Times reported Reade, quote, briefly worked as a staff assistant in Biden's Senate office and said in 1993, Biden pinned her to a wall and sexually assaulted her.
Are there any witnesses?
Well, I heard that there was a report that she filed back then that was like sealed and hidden. I don't know if that's been confirmed yet.
Under what circumstances was it sealed and hidden?
The Biden's team had it like.
Is there proof of that?
We're not sure.
Okay.
I haven't seen proof yet. This is just.
I just want actual proof. I don't want these to start getting thrown around without any. I'm not saying like, beyond reasonable doubt proof, but there has to be some proof. Otherwise, this is just going to keep happening where, like, I can accuse someone of sexual assault.
Now,
like I don't know.
Somebody who, yeah.
Yeah, like you were saying, like Biden can release the records and whatnot, but the proof that came out this week, which is when the media finally started to kind of take it seriously, was that there was the clip from Larry King in, I think, like 1994 or something, where her mom called into Larry King and talked about like an issue.
I have that.
Oh, do you? Yeah. So, like, it confirms that, like, she told her mom back then, so this wasn't, like, a new thing that she brought up. And she also told her neighbor, who's a Biden supporter at the time, who says, I'm voting for Biden, but yes, she told me this.
So here's Pelosi talking about it, and then I'll play the clip, the Larry King clip.
Accusation of misconduct against Joe Biden. He has publicly denied it. He is the Democratic nominee. Are you satisfied with his answer?
I am satisfied with his answer, yes.
That is the state of this story right now, and we will continue to report out the evidence as we get it.
Yeah, I mean, when you get to a point where it's literally just one person's word against another, it's hard to do anything right there. But if there's some sort of, I guess the Larry King thing is a bit of evidence.
Yeah, do we have that?
Yes, here it is. It's Tucker Carlson talking about
Tara
it.
Reade's sexual assault allegation against her former boss, Joe Biden, has not been proven. Likely it never will be. It happened an awfully long time ago, she says. But newly discovered evidence from almost 30 years ago offers surprising support for Reade's claim. This came almost out of nowhere. A clip from Larry King Live, the old 9 p.m. show on CNN, features a call from a woman Reade tells reporters is her mother. Watch this.
Larry King, also an ex-con. How can we believe anything from his show?
San Luis Obispo, California. Hello.
Yes, hello. I'm wondering what a staffer would do besides go to the press in Washington. My daughter has just left there after working for a prominent senator and could not get through with her problems at all. And the only thing she could have done was go to the press, and she chose not to do it out of respect for him.
Or she had a story to tell, but out of respect for the person she worked for, she didn't tell it.
That's true.
So that's it.
That's her mom?
That's her mother, yes.
Yeah, it at least like puts to rest this idea that she is only talking about this now. Like, it was something that she grappled with back in the 90s. And yeah, and as somebody pointed out in the chat, it's not necessarily like evidence, it's just corroboration. But yeah, I mean, for me, I don't know what the right like solution is. But I think at a minimum, whatever Democrats said, like the standard that they used for Brett Kavanaugh, which is just 2 years ago, you can go back and see it all. They should apply it to Joe Biden. You know, like the main thing is consistency. Like that's all that. I don't know what the standard is. Like if you think that Kavanaugh should have been withdrawn, then you should also think that Biden should have been withdrawn. You know what I mean? Because I mean, in this instance, it's actually more serious because Biden was in a position of power to an employee. And we all see the fucking videos of him sniffing women's hair and whatnot. So it's not like this is unbelievable, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, just think, what if this was some woman who worked for Trump at one time with the exact same story?
Totally. Yeah. And like all of the allegations against Trump, Democrats believe that. And I think rightfully so, right? Because I mean, he's also creepy. So it's just, to me, it's the hypocrisy that really frustrates me. Like, if you have a standard, then you have to apply it consistently. But, you know, you kind of like the entire movement gets trashed. Like the Me Too movement goes, you know, down the tubes because, well, it's Joe Biden now. So sorry, you know, and I think people are right to be angry at Democrats who are silent. You know, it's just the hypocrisy is completely unacceptable.
I think whoever ends up taking over the party away from the establishment Democrats now decides that they have to stop anointing a candidate, you know, years before, because that's what happens every time. That's why they won't stray away from Biden, even though he's probably going to lose.
Oh, he's losing.
Yeah.
Even with Corona.
Yeah, you know what? For me, I'm trying to temper like any expectations, like, and not make predictions, because I think that Corona has changed a lot. Like, this is going to be an election about that and who's going to solve it. But I mean, at the end of the day, everything, everything that's in place for Trump to get reelected is kind of there. And like, think of the things that Biden's going to need to win. He's going to need young people. They didn't turn out in 2016 for Hillary. He has no enthusiasm, comparatively speaking. And and look, to be fair, he's currently polling ahead of Donald Trump. But Hillary Clinton was also at this time, and we haven't really gotten into the main election. So I think that this is really, it's not looking good, but I won't predict. Sure, Joe Biden can win, but at the same time, it's like, why, like you said, Ben, why do we have to anoint someone? Like last time it was going to be Hillary. This time it was like, why do they have to do this? Like they keep running out the Democratic all-stars who lose, who are unpopular, unlikable, and they keep wondering why they lose elections. It's like at some point you have to wonder, is this really incompetence? Is it malfeasance? Does that matter? Is it just the distinction without a difference? But it's like, what are you doing? Like there are people who want to take over the party, who know how to win, who, even if they lose, they at least want to affect change. But when you look at Nancy Pelosi, like, what is she doing?
Yeah,
what is Chuck Schumer? Like, they're doing nothing. They're just sitting on their asses, warming the seat.
I was questioning why Pelosi was brought back as speaker when they had the opportunity to bring.
What is the Me Too movement all about?
You know what it's all about.
So the Me Too movement was a movement a couple years ago. People started coming out and speaking about higher up celebrities, politicians that were inappropriate sexually. Media moguls. Yeah. They were inappropriate sexually. And we all got together to give the voice to the weak. And what we gave was strength to a new...
And a lot of people that deserved to be taken down were taken down, but there were some collateral damage too.
Sure.
So I don't get the whole Democrat thing that they're like, how they always want to pick someone and just stick with them. It's almost like
they didn't.
They're just doing favors for each other.
They didn't do that in 2008, right?
Well,
like Hillary thought she was going to get it, and they went with Obama, and he won.
There's been that's a good point. There's been 6 presidents elected in my lifetime. I was born in 1981. Only 2 of them have been Democrats, Clinton and Obama, and both of them were younger guys for being president, and they got the youth vote and the minority vote to come out for them in record number. Obama got probably the biggest minority vote ever to be president. And it doesn't seem like Biden's going to do that. Hillary didn't do that. It's crazy how many women voted for Trump instead of Hillary.
Biden has the minority vote compared to Bernie, right? Wasn't that the one thing that he had going for him?
So, yeah, in certain states.
Yeah, Bernie still had, like, anyone who's under 40. Bernie had overwhelmingly. Bernie had the Latino vote. Biden is actually really struggling with Hispanic voters. But overall, Biden had the black vote in the South. And I think it was primarily because first of all, if you're a Democrat, like just that D in front of your name, it holds a lot of water. And at the beginning of this race, like I kind of laughed at he's not a Democrat. Like we all heard the criticism, but I think that actually did kind of damage Bernie to an extent. Like it helped him with some people who were independents, but like for a lot of people around the country, not just black voters, but I mean in general, that holds a lot of weight. So Biden just being a Democrat for so long, just being like visible in the party, I think that probably had a pretty big difference. And there's a lot, like I know that Bernie lost some more like suburban white voters. So there's a lot of weird things that happened. Like he won those people last time in 2016. So I think that there needs to be like we look through and figure out what the hell happened. But we're at this situation where we're with like a worse person in 2020 than we had in 2016, because I mean, with Hillary Clinton, at least she was sharp, right? She's not in cognitive decline. She was a woman, and I don't necessarily care, but it still is like, okay, well, at least we're getting the first woman. That's kind of cool to see. But with Biden, there's nothing.
Why are we not talking about how many times Biden has unsuccessfully ran for president, going back what, 30 years running for president? That's how he got the VP slot, because he had no chance of winning the presidency.
Or why don't we talk about, instead of this Tara Reid situation, why don't we talk about all the times on video where Biden was creepy Uncle Joe kissing and rubbing on people, which, I'm sorry, that's what the Me Too movement was about, inappropriate touching, and he's doing it all over the fucking place on video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, did you see the clip from The Daily Show? Jon Stewart talked about that, and he was like, pretending to squirt hand sanitizer in his eyes because it was so creepy. It's so creepy. Yeah, it's not okay.
The ones with like the 10, 12-year-old girls are insanely creepy. But I mean, the ones where he's like, there's like 30, 40-year-old women he's doing it to also, like smelling their hair.
Yeah.
He has boundary issues.
He can't not talk about something creepy either. He's like in those interviews where he's talking about the kids rubbing the hairs on his leg and stuff.
Yeah.
Come down, run down inside. Can't see the kids. Run down and get a popsicle.
And they sit on my lap.
Sit on my lap.
I love to have kids sitting in my lap.
Oh,
I learned about roaches.
Yeah. All right.
It's just, it's like we're in a weird like Twilight Zone situation, and this is all a simulation.
Yeah.
And like whoever's controlling the simulation is just fucking with us at this point.
I hope. Yeah. Season 2020 of Earth is lit right now.
Before we move on,
jump the shark.
Before we move on from this, I wanted to ask you, because my friend Jeff Holiday is convinced that Biden is going to pick Hillary as his running mate, and I don't think that's going to happen. What do you think?
Yeah. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's probably like, I don't know. I think it's probably going to be someone like Gretchen Whitmer or maybe like a no-name person. Hillary is so unlikable. Like, it's not out of the question, right? But Hillary would be such a bad decision that they'd have to want to lose, because she's still unlikable because she never went away. So her favorables haven't increased. And it would be such a bad decision. I couldn't see it. And also I don't know. I don't think so, but crazier things have happened. So I could be wrong.
The one name I heard that I thought might actually give Biden a chance was Michelle Obama.
Yeah, I'm way more cool with that than Hillary.
When that got brought up, I was like, that could actually be a game changer.
That would bring out the voting numbers and demographics.
The youth?
Yes.
Yes. What Sarah Palin did for John McCain still wasn't enough to take down Obama, but it was a big push. It gave John McCain a little more youth appeal. And I think Michelle Obama. Yeah, but that appealed to the party. They I don't think Sarah Palin on paper could have looked much dumber than Donald Trump did on paper.
Now she's an intellectual, given what the party looks like. When you look at people like Louis Gohmert and whatnot, and Donald Trump, like now she's like, oh man, I miss the days of Sarah Palin when she was the craziest.
Sarah Palin was Russia is in my backyard. Donald Trump was asking who the president of Puerto Rico was while president.
He was the president of Puerto Rico asking who the president of Puerto Rico was.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Russia being her backyard is a little less stupid. Yeah.
Or
a little less stupid.
I think he talked to the governor of Puerto Rico and thought he was the guy he talked to was the president of Puerto Rico without realizing he was actually the president of Puerto Rico.
And let's not forget, he seriously asked why we can't nuke hurricanes to his advisors.
Oh my!
Yeah, that would shoot radiation all over everywhere. It would be the most effective way to spread radiation.
Nuke hurricanes, drink Lysol, or inject Lysol.
Big water. Puerto Rico is surrounded by big water.
Shouldn't there at least be a test before you become president? Like, circle all the places you're president of. Like, show them a map and be like, circle the place, or at least like put an X next to the name of each place you're president of.
Yeah. Or like one of those like little baby puzzles where you have like a triangle and like a square and an X, and you got to insert them into, like a basic puzzle. Have them complete that.
It's the shape of the country or state, and he just has to put it in that shape hole.
He doesn't even have to match it up. He's trying to jam Michigan into fucking Wisconsin. Oh, no. This better be a simulation. This better be a simulation.
It has to be. If it's not, I'm going to be really mad. If maybe like, there's no other explanation. It has to be. Like, think of all the things just this year that happened. Like, we started out the year, let me remind you, wondering if we're going to go to war with Iran, and now we're with this fucking pandemic. Biden, out of like 20 something candidates, became the nominee. This is too stupid to be real.
Remember the fires in Australia?
Yeah,
I forgot about that too.
There was civil unrest in Hong Kong too before this all broke.
Remember
out.
the Amazon fires?
Yeah,
insane, absolutely insane.
We're not even halfway through 2020, and I'm forgetting like major world events.
I'm gonna run to the restroom.
I'm gonna read the Streamlabs.
Right,
Thick Girl 99 says thoughts on Vosh voter shaming people for not wanting to support Biden.
I haven't seen his argument, so I won't say that he is or isn't voter shaming. But what I've seen from Vosh is that I really like him. I think he's really like well reasoned and logical. So I'll say I disagree. Like, I don't think he should voter shame people, because I'm not going to vote for Joe Biden. I need to hear his argument. But so long as he's making like a rational case to vote strategically, I think that's fine. So long as you aren't trying to like shame people because.
President. Also, I bumped my patronage up to 25 for the new reward. I hope you ship to Canada.
Yeah, I'll talk to Ben about shipping. I'm sure we'll make that work. But yeah, I personally, I like Vosh. I think he's a good voice to have. I think that his ideas are extreme, but I think we need extreme ideas, if not extreme implementation. So whatever he said, I disagree as well. I think Biden's a fuck up, and it's embarrassing that he's in position of a party that I've always voted for, and I think I'm not going to vote this year. I'm looking for any reason to vote somebody else, like if Kane, mayor of Knoxville County, ran for president, or Jesse Ventura, they're saying, might run the Green Party. Okay, I would love to vote for somebody who's in the WWE Hall of Fame that isn't Donald Trump this year. It's fucking weird, man.
It's just the situation, like back in 2016, I remember telling myself, at least it wouldn't get worse than this. Like there's no, like, it's all up from here, right? They're like, no, it's not. And like, I'm thinking, what's 2024 going to bring? Like, are we going to be like talking about why you have to vote for Mike Bloomberg because Tom Cotton is worse? Like, how low are we going to go? And
yeah,
the answer is, I don't know. So like, back to Vosh, I do respect Vosh. So, I mean, we have ideological disagreements, I'm sure. I think he's an anarchist. I'm a democratic socialist.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like his content. I think that he's entertaining. I do like Vosh, so I won't say anything bad about him, especially because I
won't say anything bad about him because I like that he's speaking up for something other than what most people are listening to.
We're having Vosh on May 30th, by the way. Right on. Vosh is one of those guys, he'll debate anybody, even someone who has views that he thinks are absolutely deplorable. He'll do it. Like we had him on with Ethan Ralph, who many people would say is a white nationalist.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just unbelievable, crazy chaos. We've never had anybody try to dox somebody else live on our stream. But the other guys started like threatening doxing and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, it got
I've never out
of hand.
It got
holy shit. I'm gonna have to go back and find this.
Yeah, it was I think last month. It was Vosh versus Ethan Ralph debate.
Yeah, I want to say it was like the 12th or 13th of March.
They stopped. It got away from arguing issues and went to personal stuff, and it got pretty dark. Damn. And a lot of it was like Vosh has this thing where he calls a lot of people Nazis.
Yeah.
And he was calling Ralph a Nazi, and Ralph didn't like that. So there was they were debating back and forth whether or not he was a Nazi, which
And though it really came down to calling
Yeah.
Ralph a Nazi and calling Vaush like a horse dick lover.
Yes.
That's about as far as the conversation got.
After a while,
No
well,
shit.
Ralph was drinking.
Yeah, Ralph got more and more
Yeah.
drunk and started to get more and more like out of I want to say out of character, out of hand. He just
Not
started
out of character.
he
too
started
belligerent.
saying he dropped the M-bomb freely. It got
And
really
I had
bad.
I had to hang up on him.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't let it, because it was getting to a point where like we could be held responsible for stuff that he said.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I didn't. It went to a
Jesus.
really.
Yeah.
We've never, like, even with people who don't like each other at all. Normally it doesn't go there.
Yeah.
It doesn't go that far.
And I think a lot of it had to do with how fucking drunk he was, because he was noticeably gone. It was bad. It was a shit. And you never want to turn that off, right? As far as entertainment goes, you want somebody to go as far as possible when they're fucked up.
It's the train wreck. You've got to like keep watching.
You want to keep it going.
Man.
So I'm gonna
I
keep
will say
reading.
I like his I love his debates that I've seen. I saw him debate Sargon and I was glued to that. I thought he did a great job. And I saw part of a debate with Destiny. I didn't see, like, I know he debated him in person, but I know that Vosh like had him on like a call or something, and it got a little bit crazy. I think that Vosh is like super, super sharp. Like he's a really, really good debater.
Well, if there's
anything that he says, his like sound, there's logic behind it.
If there's anything you disagree with him on, I can get you to debate him.
Yeah. What are your feelings on horsecock?
Out of all of them, I think it's the biggest.
Vosh, the guy Vosh was debating kept saying, why do you love horse cock? But that wasn't, Vosh was saying, I want to have the cock of a horse.
Oh, I see. That's that, like how it devolved into that, though. That's so weird.
Yeah.
Checkmate. Josh 2.0 says it's all a shit show. Doesn't matter who is in power. Thank you, German Ben, for the big 20. T-Pose said, force intercourse is the cure for COVID. What the fuck? That's not true, T-Pose.
Hard disagree.
Yeah, hard disagree. Sam Gray gave us big love. Death Shadow Kilo gave us big love. PT Hammer gave us big love. David Hardy gave us big love. Dragon of the West said, Jesse Ventura says he may run for POTUS in the Green Party.
I would vote for him.
I would love to watch him debate Trump and Biden.
That would be so good.
Yeah.
He would just, that's how Jesse Ventura won the governorship of Minnesota. He was polling so low until he was in the debates, and he just mopped the floor with everyone he debated to the point where he gained, as an independent, gained the support of enough people from both sides to win. As someone who did, and they didn't take him seriously. He was a wrestler, and an actor. But I mean, I don't see too many people that I knew that lived through his administration from Minnesota that really had a problem with him. He chose not to run for another term. He just didn't want to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know too much about him, honestly, but I love, like, I've listened to a little bit of his political talk show, and I love it. Like, I think that he's a little bit crazy, but in, like, a good way. And, I live in Oregon, so I don't have to worry about, like, strategic voting, so I'll most likely be voting green. If I don't, like, check off the top of the ticket, I'll at least vote, like, down ballot for sure. But, like, if he was the green nominee, I'd vote for him, sure.
Do you think he'd have a chance of winning?
I don't think so.
No.
Just because, but he could put a dent in. See, what we need is a third party that will get enough votes to show that enough people are willing to vote for it, because people are followers and they want to vote for the winner. They want to be the one who voted for a winner. So people are afraid to vote for third party, even if the third party candidate more fits their views.
Do you think Vince would get behind Jesse Ventura over Trump?
No. Vince is buddies with Trump, and he's working with Trump right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, not at all.
AEW.
And actually, Ventura sued Vince so many times. They don't agree on anything at all. Actually, Jesse Ventura almost got fired by Vince McMahon for trying to unionize wrestling 40 years ago.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, and it doesn't surprise me that Vince McMahon is Trump's buddy, because they're a lot alike. and they Trump hosted a lot of the early WrestleManias in the 80s back in the day, and that's how Linda McMahon got a position in Trump's cabinet. They're very, very much alike, and all of the like pro wrestling, even though it's staged, people get hurt doing that, and people get brain damage, they get spinal damage, all sorts of stuff, and all of those wrestlers that work for Vince McMahon, none of them are actual employees of WWE. They're all private contractors, but they have exclusive contracts. So even though they're private contractors and he doesn't have to give them retirement plans or insurance or anything like that, they can't go work anywhere else. And
that's interesting.
And he takes their
That's
name
really fun.
away from them. Like, he'll make them work under a name he made up that he has trademarked.
That's branding.
So if they leave, but he doesn't do it with everyone. His favorites don't have to do that.
Well, it's they won't show up. They won't sign the contract if they don't get to keep their rights to their name and stuff.
But
the other guys take that choice.
John Oliver did a really good report about that sometime last year about how these wrestlers, like, they're dying in their on average they die around 42, 43 years old. And
that's crazy.
Yeah, because they get addicted to all these pain medications, and they used to take steroids a lot. In the 80s and 90s, guys were huge. 300 pounds of solid muscle back then, and that they were dying. Like, I'll go back and watch a wrestling event from 20 years ago, and like 50% of the people performing in it are dead now.
Yeah,
jeez.
My first ever live show, every single match except for X-Pac versus Goldust had somebody in it who's dead now. And there's like 10 matches.
And those were two guys that were never known to be big muscle guys that probably never got.
But the X-Pac tried to kill himself in Mexico.
That's because he was a drug addict. Yeah.
And Dustin almost was a terrible drug addict as well. Those are two guys that were close to death that somehow survived the odds. And every other match, like Yokozuna versus mid-90s Kevin Nash was the main event. Yokozuna's dead.
Yokozuna died of obesity.
Yeah. It had Skip of the Body Donnas versus I think it was Rad Radford. Both those guys are dead.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dang.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, though, that a lot of people aren't even aware of. Like, they're not even employees, but they have to only work for one company. It's like, I don't know how he legally makes that happen, but yeah. And then Vince McMahon's wife, who was the CEO of WWE for years, gets appointed the head of the SBA.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, we're going to move into the next part of the show. Really quick here. This show is sponsored by a website, a new platform, kind of like Reddit. And at this point, there's mostly representation from the right on there. We've been invited to bring people in to represent the left. It's a website called slug.com. There's a link in the description. If you use our link and create an account, it helps support our show. We get a little kickback for it. So we encourage all of you to do that and post something fun there. Post a poll, post a video, post whatever you want. As long as it's not too crazy, it's going to stay there. It's an alternative to Reddit, basically.
If you have any stories of Joe Biden rubbing your leg,
post that there.
Post it there.
Yeah, the link's in the description. Please use the link and sign up for an account. The more people we get to do it, the better it looks on us, and the more they support our show. And we are going to go into this next segment.
Wow. Bang, bang.
Someone asked...
Damn it.
Someone asked, is Slug just like that other site, just a bot training program? I think you're referring to Candid. Candid was an app, not a site. And no, this has nothing to do with any of that. This is actually a platform. It's like a Reddit, basically. There's no bots being trained there. They're just... Someone's trying to start up a new platform where you can post threads, kind of like Reddit. And that's really all there is to it.
I miss Candid. What, that was a bot training site though? Is that what they were saying?
Yeah, Candid ended up because like they were buying ads from people who were kind of right of center and left of center and getting them to position it to their audience in two different ways. But basically, in reality, Candid was creating an AI to filter content. And a lot of
no shit.
Yeah, and a lot of websites, I believe including YouTube, use that now to kind of push things to the top that they like and push things to the bottom that they don't like.
See, because they sponsored my show back in the day, and I actually used the app quite a bit. So that's kind of weird. That's like a little bit sketch. Like, this is why I don't do sponsors very often, because you never know.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's hard enough, especially I think that year was like right around Adpocalypse time. So I don't blame anyone who did it. You know, you're not Sherlock Holmes to like investigate everything they're doing.
Yeah.
You know,
you just try to hope that they're, you know, good faith actors. And like, I used the app. I thought it was actually pretty entertaining, and I was sad when it was gone.
Yeah.
I will take a sponsorship from Raid Shadow Legends. I'll say that.
I did it. You know what? Someone joked around about it on our subreddit, so I was like, I'm going to do it now. And like within a week, we were running Raid Shadow Legends ads.
No shit.
Yeah. I got to get back on with that, but we have to record a new ad.
I like playing Raid Shadow Legends while taking Blue Chew.
You know what's so messed up though? In order to do the Raid Shadow Legends ad, I had to play Raid Shadow Legends a little bit to get the footage, and to like, I had to get to a certain place of the game too to get some of the footage that they were asking for. And then I got kind of hooked on it and was playing it for like 2 or 3 months where I was just playing it because the game can basically play itself. There's like an autopilot mode on it where you just tap what you want to do and it does it.
I love games that you don't have to play.
Right. So I was like running, you know, doing some exercise while playing Raid Shadow Legends, or I'd be like laying down to fall asleep at night playing Raid Shadow Legends. It got out of hand.
I haven't played it, but I just love that it's kind of become like a meme that everyone is sponsored by it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to be sponsored by Raid. Although I probably wouldn't have time to play it though, so I can't take away from Animal Crossing.
Yes.
Are you familiar with Mr. Nick Fuentes?
Yes, isn't that the booger eating Nazi guy?
Yes. Yes.
Not necessarily a Nazi. I just, you know, love Cookie Monster.
Couldn't have baked that many cookies. Here's did you see where he was hanging out with the cat boy?
No, I haven't seen this.
He did. One of his fans flew to the U.S. from Australia to meet him, and it was a handsome young man, and
cat ears
that was probably at least bisexual, and they went out on what could only be described as a date together,
a man date,
on a live stream, and they're like Nick Fuentes is all smiley and like giggly the whole time.
He's looking at him with these eyes of wanting just attention. You know, he's sweet. He's sweet on that boy.
Maybe there was something there.
Oh, there definitely was.
Yeah.
And then he went to defend it with like, you know,
Lolly. The guy's name was Lolly Socks.
Lolly Socks is actually based in Red Pilled. I caught him watching a Hitler documentary, so he's okay, guys. Yeah, don't look at the videos of him putting dildos in his mouth. Don't look at those.
Yeah. There's he's almost like it's almost like cam girl type content that this guy makes. Like he's really fit and stuff, but there's like pictures of him like, you know, he's like in drag and he's like sucking on a dildo that looks like a horse penis. And this guy is a fan of Nick Fuentes.
Nick Fuentes is a fan of him.
Right. Lolly Socks.
Lolly Socks, guys. I caught him watching a Hitler doc.
What was the movie? It was about Hitler's rise to... So he was like, guys, he's based in Red Pilled, guys. It's okay.
Yeah. He kept saying Lolly Socks is based in Red Pilled.
Oh, it was
cute. The people who rise to prominence in like the right wing world are so weird. Like I could have never predicted Nick Fuentes, But then I also could have never predicted like Ben Shapiro of all people. Like I don't get how these people come up. Like it's weird.
Yeah, Nick Fuentes is really young too. When he first broke into this, he was like 18 or 19.
Does Nick Fuentes have a sister?
I don't know. Yeah, here's a little bit from this.
I said I don't believe in dinosaurs, so I was doing some research about that. Watching like some, and then I just kind
and he's got his little cat boy ears on.
Then I just got sucked in, and then I was watching videos about the end times and about Noah's Ark, and then I was watching a video about Star Wars.
And he blocked anyone who brought this up. I'm blocked by Nick Fuentes on Twitter for just asking about the cat boy.
No shit.
Yeah.
I am so glad you guys are sharing this with me. I had no idea.
Yeah, look
He's taller.
See how much taller he is than Nick. He's like a tall dude that's all ripped. Like,
If you're gonna fall in love with a man and you're notoriously hater of gays, homophobic, yeah, if you're gonna, this is the man you fall in love
like
with. Though.
literally 2 weeks after this. 2 weeks after this happened, he goes to some conservative convention, and there's a drag queen, a MAGA drag queen,
Lady MAGA.
Yeah, Lady MAGA. And Nick's like, "You're a degenerate. No, I can't be on the same side as you." It's like, hold on, you were just hanging out with Catboy.
And that's the worst
You're
part.
like offended by a man dressed in a dress? I
Lady
don't know.
MAGA wanted so badly to be accepted.
I know.
It was so sad. It was heartbreaking.
Yeah, he's clearly taller. Well, Nick's
Come on, Nick. Hitler wore dresses too.
7 foot, and I'm only like 6'9".
You're walking on the curb right now. Can't see you, but you're walking. You're walking on the curb.
They're in love.
So, me and Nick were hanging out last night. We come home, and there's been a shooting outside my house.
Wait, did you establish that it was a shooting?
Look at that.
There's some real chemistry there.
I know. They go to the mall and like try on jackets together.
Yeah. Is it weird? Is it weird that like maybe we're seeing chemistry, but really it's just a neon pink background, and we're being fooled? Or is there actual chemistry here?
I feel like
it's just it really helps with the mood, you know, the lighting and
yeah.
See, and I don't even like try on like coats and stuff with my husband. That's too gay for us. So if they're doing it, there's something serious going on.
Damn it. Poor Nick
What else could it have
Fuentes.
been? There were so many cop cars.
Okay, did you? I mean, like,
Established that it was a shooting? Or...
What else could it have been? There were so many.
that right there. Oh, you.
Oh man. This, if the camera wasn't on, this would have been their first kiss.
I know.
But Nick had to hide because the camera was on.
Every time I see them together, the theme song from Dawson's Creek is in my head.
I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. Based and red-pilled when you kissed me. Don't worry, guys. Hitler died today, guys. Hitler shot himself in the face. I just wanted Catboy to shoot me in the mouth.
So I was going to play a newer video from him, but I had to give you this context.
Yeah, I needed this. I had no idea about this, but this is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just
Catboy
weird.
says, "Hi Nick, how do I red pill my?"
Did you hear that?
Catboy says, "Hi Nick, how do I red pill my
Catboy
what?"
says, "Hi Nick, how do I red pill my mom who plays hot dish?" Don't red pill your mom. Don't red pill your mom. I've tried. My mom watches this show. She's still blue pilled. You know, she's still totally blue pilled. I think women cannot be red pilled. Then why do you want to red pill them? You know, just as long as they cook your meals. You know, they tuck you in at night. What difference does it make? Frankly, you know, people.
Hold on, he gets tucked in.
Yeah, what are women good for in Nick Fuentes' mind?
So
cooking meals and tucking him in, not being a sexual partner.
So is he the opposite of DDLG? Baby boy, Mama Dom?
Mommy Dom?
Yeah.
BBMD?
Yeah, is that what he is?
No, I think he was. I think the only woman relationship he has is a mother one, because he's chasing tail, cat tail,
Catboy tail.
Yeah. My guy doesn't see the value of a woman, because why would he? He's fucking based and pink pilled.
Right after Nick got banned from YouTube, he went to some convention. I think it was backpacking, or is piggybacking off of CPAC. I think it was like the people who got banned from CPAC or that weren't allowed.
Yeah.
And Nick was trying to give this speech, and drunk Alex Jones kept coming up and like pushing him out of the way of the podium and like talking for him. It happened like 3 or 4
Hey guys,
times.
just gotta tell you, this boy's young, he's cute, he's awesome, we love him around here. He's based in Red Pill. It's gonna be a really good future for us. And you see him with the Catboy, right?
That's what he was wasted.
Let him pet the kitty.
And he got his DUI like a week after that. Remember? Yeah.
Somebody said that we are gay shaming. That's not true. We're celebrating.
I'm shaming his gay shaming.
Yeah. It's the
Yeah,
fact
it's
that
a
he,
hypocrisy because this guy's a huge homophobe. Doesn't he protest other right wingers like Ben Shapiro for not being right wing enough?
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Come
also
on.
he doesn't like
Come on.
Jews too. So it doesn't matter if you're a
Yeah.
conservative, you're a Jew, you're playing for the wrong team according to him. So
People are like, oh, Nick, I get some of the MAGA MILFs come around the show. Some of the MAGA MILFs come on the show, and they're like, oh, Nick, ooh, I'm based in Red Pill. Hit me up, DM me. I get all kinds of people bothering me. How many times do I have to say it? No e-girls, and we're not even in the market for anything like that. Just go away, please.
we know,
You're
dude. We know.
embarrassing yourself. Go someplace else, right? But they'll come around and they say, I'm red pilled, Nick, give me the time of day because I'm a girl, talk to me. And it's like, do you think I want some woman who has, looked into the abyss and knows about this kind of stuff? Not really. As long as they're, sort of this intuitive red pill on what's going on. And I'm more speaking about wife. I'm more speaking about GF type of thing or, that kind of thing. Women who are overly political, it's like, I don't know. Women should not be very political. They should have the right values, which is not being a whore. And I think that the rest solves itself. Not being a whore, basically, understanding the way the gender roles are supposed to work. And I think that's the requirement as far as what they think about politics goes or, these other things. I could really care less about anything else, right?
you mean you couldn't care less?
I would say don't.
He doesn't always say what he means.
Right.
So he
forget it.
could care a little.
Yeah, he could care less.
Why would you want to red pill your mom? Don't-
I know.
Beta.
Yeah, Jesse Lee Peterson has him on his show every now and then too.
No shit.
Yeah.
How does Jesse Lee Peterson not call him a beta? He's not trying to get girls who are coming to him. That sounds pretty beta.
Yeah.
That's not like an alpha move, right?
I mean, I don't know. Jesse Lee Peterson,
suffer and die.
He doesn't think you should be a manslaughter. You should not be a manslaughter. What you
You're
gotta do
a
is
slut
conquer
maker
your
is
mother.
what
You're
he
a slut maker. You just gotta conquer your mother. Go conquer your mother. I don't trust anybody who tells me how to get girls ever, because I've learned one thing about getting girls. The best way to get them is not to try and get them. They'll come to you, 100%. Don't horn dog fucking weirdos. They'll come to you. Let it happen.
There's so much weird mommy issues in the right wing world. I don't know the name of the guy, but he was saying that if you're into girls' butts, then you're gay. Maybe you guys know.
Yes,
that's
that
not
was Roosh V. That was Roosh V.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Why are there so many issues in that department with these people? It's weird.
I mean, Roosh V, up until recently, I believe, lived literally with his mom, and he's pushing 40.
There's a discernible difference between a girl butt and a guy butt, right?
Not always.
Not always.
Sometimes there are dudes that have the juicy, voluptuous butt, and girls can have a flat butt.
Obviously, but traditional butts, the people who are attracted to male butts, who are male, usually don't like the womanly male butts. They like the more tight little butts. They like those tight butts. And guys who like women butts, unless you're MAGA,
different people like different things.
The right wing does like little tiny man butts on their women, all right? But the lefters, they got those Obama voting onion booties. You know what I'm saying? Those big old stink butts. We love those on the left. They don't make those on a lot of men.
Butts.
We like those big old daring jelly bags that just fart around in front of you. We like the Brazzers butts, okay? And that's not a gay thing to like a butt, even if it's on a man. It's your human right to like butts. Roosh B, you dumb son of a bitch. Kiss mine.
Yeah, Roosh V.
Lisa on Life says, I don't care the size of the butt so long as it's clean. Like, that's a good starting point. Some people prefer dirty butts, and that's something else.
Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
Clean that butt. Or don't. It depends on what you're looking for.
You called it a big old stink butt.
Yes, but stink is more of a...
Nobody else uses that term.
I know. I coined it.
Yeah, that's why when you say it, no one knows what the fuck
You know
you're
what I
talking
think
about.
it goes back to? I started saying the term stink tits.
I know.
And I think that goes back to kindergarten, because I had like these kindergarten teachers that would come and talk to me from behind. Like when I was working on my paper at my desk, they would lean over my shoulder to like edge in on my paper and critique me. They were terrible people, and their boobs would always have a funky smell to them. It was gross. And I think that stuck with me into my adulthood. I don't know. I blame it on them now. It couldn't have nothing to do with them, but I'm just gonna say it does.
With that, I am going to play some Wild Bill from America. He's going to talk about the blessings of coronavirus.
Oh,
My mom used to
probably
say
get down with him on this.
that every cloud has a silver lining. So what are some of the silver linings of this coronavirus? Well, for one thing, Drag Queen Story Hour has come to a screeching halt.
What a hater. What a hater. I thought he was going to say something like traffic. There's less traffic, because I've been enjoying that. When traffic starts to come back and I'm going to have to be stuck in traffic again when I go somewhere, I'm going to miss these times.
He's
a
saying,
little bit.
55 million dead Americans is a small price, or 55,000 dead Americans is a small price to pay to get rid of those drag queen story hours.
We should have drag queen story hours live via Zoom.
Yeah, I feel like they're still happening digitally. Like, I don't know, but like everything else is going to Zoom.
Are
so
they
why not
really?
that?
I don't think they're as widespread as people talk they are. Like,
they should be
Where
wider.
are these? Where do they happen?
It was like a one-time story from what I understand. Like, I've never seen them in my area. And I live in Portland, where if there were going to be like drag queen story hours more regularly, you'd see them in Portland. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not like
I've seen weird alt-right conspiracy theorists meet up at the library and do their thing there. The library is a public place for congregation. If you want to have a damn drag queen story hour, just make sure you're not Christopher Reeve's son with no pants on.
So a lot of American kids are safe at home until their idiot parents can endanger them once again. Second, I have never liked shaking hands with people, and I hate being hugged. Thanks to this virus, I may never again be violated. Shaking hands is believed to have come from the old days when you held out your weapon hand to show that you didn't have a dagger in it. And since all of our weapon hands are now empty, let's move on. Number 3, the virus has exposed the faith healers as total frauds.
Okay, Wild Bill said something I agree with.
Yeah.
Those flamboyant, bombastic money grubbers are in hiding from the coronavirus. Faith healing services have been canceled until this virus is gone. Never again will those charlatan cowards be able to claim.
He's a member of a Christian biker gang, the Faith Riders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just noticed that sticker. I was wondering, I'm like, okay, he's kind of all over the place ideologically from what I'm seeing, but that makes sense because back when my family was like really Christian and religious, they were very much against the faith healers because they made all the other Christians look bad.
Yeah.
So,
they do.
Makes sense.
Power over sickness. Have you noticed that they never ever hold their services at a hospital? Number 4, China has once again been revealed as a brutal enemy of Western civilization. Corrupt government bureaucrats, the U.S. Congress, has placed us at the mercy of China by collaborating with them to make the USA dependent on the communists for critical living needs.
It's been that way for how long now? I mean, like, how did Walmart stock its shelves for the last 2 decades?
Yeah, it's just like a new phenomenon.
Right.
3 of the top 5 businesses or companies in the world are Chinese owned.
Which ones?
The ICBC Bank is like number 1. And then there are other banks that are in the top 5. I think number 2 and number 4
and then
are American.
There's also American-owned companies that make their product in China because of the cheap labor and more
And
lax
that's being
labor
phased out.
laws.
That's being phased out. They're going to other places now because China's got more of a middle class built up because of all this. But they're going at a rapid rate.
move it to India.
Yeah.
They have a caste system there that'll never change.
China.
Foods and many of our manufactured goods are made in China. Maybe now our government will go back to protecting us from the communist wolves instead of selling us out to them. Number 5.
I guarantee you Wild Bill was for the Iraq War, in which we became even more in debt to China. So we've used China as a credit card for a long time.
China.
It's messed up.
The Democrat Party has once again revealed themselves to be the enemy of everything good in the USA. We were hit with a life-threatening plague, and instead of cooperating, the Democrats used it to sabotage the president at every turn. No matter what he did, they cursed him and ridiculed him, even cheering for the economy to crash to make the president look bad. The Chi-Com virus has shown America who the real enemies within are. Number 6, we now see that the First Amendment freedoms that we cherish are not really respected by bureaucrats or law enforcement. It's time to file some hard-hitting lawsuits to spank those who stomped all over the First Amendment during this crisis.
I wonder where the Westboro Baptist Church is going to get in on all this.
I mean, ever since Fred Phelps died,
they haven't been
there
as
hasn't
busy?
been much going on with Westboro. That's like
I feel like they could be making a whole lot of money off this. That's what they were all about.
Fred Phelps died, and a lot of the younger generation, like his grandchildren, have left the church. They're if you notice, no one's been talking about them for like 6, 7 years now.
Not since I went and shut them down single-handedly.
I actually saw Megan Phelps, I
knew
think her
you'd
name
do
is. She
this.
was on the David Pakman show, like, I think last year. And I didn't see the interview, but it was just crazy because she was like one of the main, like she was one of the faces of the organization. She did like their parodies. Like, I don't know if you remember the Lady Gaga Poker Face parody that they put out.
Oh God.
It was absolutely epic. And I'm pretty sure that she was the one who sung that, but I could be wrong. But, yeah, I'm interesting. I will say this about this guy though, and maybe this is sad. Is it like good for me to think, oh, well, at least he, he believes that COVID is a thing, and he's not saying it's like a hoax,
right?
I mean, the bar is so low. It's like, all right, he's not that bad compared to like what we've been seeing.
Well,
like,
this is
God bless his heart.
He's not the worst. I mean, he's not Nick Fuentes. You know what I mean?
This is one of his most favorable videos we've watched.
Right.
of
I
him.
actually agreed with something he said, which is rare.
It's rare.
I mean, like, it's so funny. He had this. We've been talking about him on this show forever, but he actually got a blurb in mainstream news a few years ago because he tried to go to Canada and they wouldn't let him in. And that's because he gave them, when you cross the border, you don't need to tell them that detailed of information. You're just, oh, I'm going on vacation. I'm going to visit the museum. Here's where I'm staying, whatever. He was going up there to do some kind of rally, and hate speech is not protected in Canada at all. So if they think you're coming up to cause trouble, they're just not going to let you in. So he did this whole persecution complex thing. He's like, they wouldn't even let me into Canada, that socialist country up there. Or, it was hilarious. He milked that for a little while.
Abortion.
He reminds me of like a Bush Republican, like those types of people. Like, I don't know anything about him, but
he loves Trump.
Oh, okay. So maybe a little bit in between.
He loves
Trump. He reminds me of the days where we thought Republicans were crazy, but now in 2020, it's like, oh, those were the good old days where that was the craziest that we got.
God. He's definitely like borderline racist. But he always does the like, well, Democrats started the KKK line. He does that a lot. But yeah,
it's such a bad argument.
And he calls gay people what is he literally uses the word like perverts. Like he like describes it as perversion. So that's the level we're at this point.
Okay.
Yeah. So and yeah, he thinks he's a chaplain of his biker gang. He has like the chaplain thing on his vest, which means he's like the spiritual leader too. I don't know. I've been watching him for years. He's never once acknowledged our existence, which is rare because normally they do at least once.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's got to bring a lot of people to watch it because, like, you guys find, like, the weirdest people, and so, like, you have to seek it out afterwards. Like, last time I was on, you showed me the mother-daughter, like, duo.
Oh, yeah.
Who were very interesting, and I had to, like, find out more, so it's going to bring a bigger audience, so I feel like he's got to know about you guys.
He probably does.
Banks and liquor
I hope he
stores
doesn't.
were open, but churches were closed. I don't think so. And lastly, this virus has shown us how blessed we are to have a professional manager in the White House instead of the usual political hack. This is Wild Bill for America. Thanks for watching, and America bless God again.
That's his catchphrase. And America bless God again.
That doesn't even make sense.
I know.
God is the one who blesses, not America. Get it together, Bill.
Yeah, mild Bill. He's a contradiction in leather.
Well, he's one of those guys who thinks that bad things happen to America because God's punishing us for, accepting the gays and, whatever else, being socialist, whatever he deems.
Kind of like a Pat Robertson-y type person.
Kind of. Yeah. It's God's.
Those people are interesting.
When bad things happen, it's God's judgment on. For some reason, God judges people as nations. That's the level God decides to judge us as. So
that's a bad level of analysis for God to use. God is stupid as fuck if he's doing that.
He's omnipotent. It should be pinpoint accuracy.
Yeah, because you can't just you can't condemn everyone because a couple of perverts are bringing down the United States. Like, no, I'm sorry, God.
Yep, it's all been downhill since Roe versus Wade. That's when God started to really fuck us.
We should do Roe versus Wade in Actual Mania.
No! I mean, there's no video of it or anything like that.
Find some
Are we going to
vids.
read the transcripts of the court hearing?
We'll find some vids.
That is a funny idea, though. What else do we got? We got a few more before we end this show. And then later on after this show, Billy and I are going to twitch.tv/Drunken Peasants to do our post show where we recap and go through any material we didn't get through here on the main show. So if you guys want to check that out, we'll remind you before the end of this. Also, slug.com, our sponsor, they help make this show possible by supporting us. And in return, we promote their website down below, slug.com. Hey, if you like to debate people from the other side of the political spectrum, that's a perfect place at this point. They came to us and they're like, hey, we realize you're more left of center, but we think maybe, you could bring some of your audience to this site. So that's what we're doing. We're promoting it. Which is kind of weird. Of all people, Jacqueline Glenn has a fan group on there too.
Yeah.
She joined our slug.com group. So Jacqueline Glenn is a part of our slug.com group if you want to join, if anyone out there wants to join.
Major Lee Awesome on Streamlabs said different strokes for different folks, and some of these folks might have had strokes.
That's a possibility.
Victor Olivius says, make that pussy purr. Josh Fungus says, can Ben and Billy yell 4 times for me? It's an inside joke. LOL. Good show so far tonight, guys. 4 times?
What?
Can you yell 4 times? Yell it. 4 times?
4 times?
4 times?
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And that actually is all the little Streamlabs since the last run through. So, hooray. Hooray.
Another interesting view that Vosh has is he's a gender abolitionist. So I think he wants the total eradication of gender roles and gender as a whole. I think that's what his position is.
I think I'm cool for eradicating somebody's gender hole.
I honestly don't know much about that position. I'd have to look into that.
It's really interesting. I've never heard he's the first person I've ever espouse that view. So,
Oh, interesting. I'm gonna have to check that out because I only was recently introduced to Vosh last year, and I'm like, oh, he's really on point on a lot of things. He's really sharp, he's super smart dude.
It's kind of weird because he started out in the Destiny fan community, and I think he got banned from there and started his own thing, and that's how he got to where he is now.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But it seems like they're at least cordial now, though, because they did that in-person debate with each other. But I know he got pushed out of the Destiny fan community at some point. So.
Huh. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know too much about Destiny. The only reason why I know about Destiny is because of all the drama with Destiny last year. It sucks when your introduction to someone is all the drama that you hear online.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't agree with anything he says now.
What I'll say about Destiny is that he's the fastest talker I've ever heard in a debate. And he can just kind of rattle off a bunch of counterpoints in a very short amount of time. And he's so articulate with it. It just, it sounds right even if it's not right.
Oof.
Oh, totally. Yeah. It's like British people. When you hear them talk, they just sound smart because of the accent. With the way that Destiny talks, he's kind of this, I don't want to say a centrist Shapiro, because I don't think that Ben Shapiro sounds smart. I think that people on the right think he sounds smart because he talks fast. But you can tell, at least Destiny is smart. Even if I disagree with a lot of the things that he says, or a majority of it, because he's more centrist. I'm admittedly far left. But yeah,
it's weird because I have some centrist views, but I voted Green I voted for Jill last time, and I can't see myself voting Democrat this time. So I'll probably do it again.
Jesse Ventura.
So I think overall I am. I don't know. It's weird. I do have some interesting views that some might disagree, economically, which is weird because I was a communist as a teenager.
No shit.
Yeah, and
that's awesome.
I think part of me got into it just to be edgy, but I was really into but you know what though, I got a little too much into the Maoist stuff too, the bad parts of it too. So
yeah.
And we had kind of pre-Antifa, there was a group called the ARA, which ended up becoming Antifa later on. It was ARA, Anti-Racist Action, and I knew a lot of people that were into that. And a lot of people that were into that were into the Green Party back then, too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I think it is you're centrist in the context of America, because we have two right-wing parties, really. You have the Republicans, they're far right, they're psycho, they're far right. And then Democrats are basically center right. You have a couple of people like AOC, for example. She's a leftist, but most of the party is actually pretty center right. If you compare the Tories in the UK to the Democratic Party, you can argue that the Tories are to the left of Democrats. Take an issue like healthcare. Boris Johnson supports the universal system. Joe Biden doesn't. You know what I mean? So I think it's just the context that we're in, and makes you identify as a centrist on some issues, but vote Green. It's just because America is such a weird system. Everything's just messed up, and I don't know if it'll ever get fixed. There's solutions, but will it get fixed? So we have a left and a right party, or ideally multiple parties? Probably not, but I think that's probably why though. You could still vote for Green and be centrist in America, because everything is so skewed to the right.
It is true. It's true.
We got another Streamlabs in.
Oh, okay.
And this one's very important. It's from Carrie. Carrie says, "Where's Joe? I want Joe. I don't want big fat Billy or ugly BENPAI. I want my sexy JoJo."
Wow, I was called ugly. That's so mean.
You can watch Joe on Roll Call every other week, Sundays on this channel. And other than that, sexy JoJo won't be on. It's just gonna be ugly BENPAI and fat Billy.
Yep.
But Roll Call every other week on Sundays.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of weird. When I first heard of Antifa, I'm like, don't you mean ARA? But they were it's weird. Antifa, the movement Antifa was born out of the ARA.
I didn't know about this. That's interesting.
Yeah. It looks like it ended in 2013. And it even mentions something that happened in my hometown. In 2005, this National Socialist movement did a protest in the town I grew up in, Toledo, Ohio, and the ARA members like came, and there was like this crazy riot that happened. The 2005 Toledo riot. It was like a race riot in my hometown.
Holy shit!
Where like buildings got burned down and stuff like that. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, for some reason, these white nationalist groups from other states would come to my town to do their marches and stir up trouble. And this time, like, buildings got burned down and all kinds of crazy stuff. It's something you would normally think only really happens in movies. You wouldn't normally see.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I know when I don't remember what it was. Maybe it was like Proud Boys or something came to Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
And they didn't live in Oregon, but Antifa kind of like drove them out, and it was weird to see it like in your city, like see, it covered on the news and stuff. It's like, this is my city, like get the fuck out, like don't come to our city and start shit, like fuck off.
I was in Toledo, Ohio, like the month before that riot.
Oh, really? In 2005?
Yeah, that was the year I was there.
Did you see it on the news?
No, because it was like a month before.
Okay.
So I got out. I was like Hurricane Katrina had just kind of happened.
Yeah, like they went to a part of the city where obviously you shouldn't be waving Nazi flags and wearing brown uniforms. So they knew they were going to stir up trouble. And there was like gang members there trying to kill them, and the police had to like fight to protect them. It's crazy. It's just crazy. Yeah, because a lot of people you'll hear a lot of people today be like, "Oh, the Nazis don't exist anymore." Like you'll hear people say that kind of stuff, but literally, 15 years ago, they were going around causing trouble. So
that's crazy.
We're known perverts on this show, right? That's what everybody says.
No, you are.
Oh, since we're known perverts on the show, I want to do a chili challenge for everybody at home who's quarantined, can't do anything with their day, bored. Just chili challenge. Take a picture of the can of chili after you've stuck your penis in it and see who can displace the most chili. Hashtag chili challenge. Majorly Awesome said, if Joe was a character from JoJo's Bizarre
Adventure?
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I have to refresh. We lost the live feed of that. Damn it. If Joe was a character from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, what do you think his stand would do? I don't know what that
is. I don't know anything about that. We're in a little bit here, we're going to wrap this up and go over to Twitch. Me and Billy are going to go over to Twitch and do our post show over there. Mike, you got anything new going on that you want to let people know about?
Not at the moment. Doing the same stuff, just talking about politics and trying to survive the ongoing apocalypse. You can subscribe if you want. Humanist Report.
Yep, link in the description below. You know what? The next time I get down there, we got to hang out. Next time. Yes. All right.
Definitely.
Yes. Okay.
Let's make it after the quarantine.
Of course, I'm not gonna
post quarantine. We're not gonna force you into hanging out during the quarantine, but we got to do it. Have some good times ahead of us.
All right, guys. We will see all of you over on twitch.tv/drunkenpeasants. Go there now. We will be starting there in about 5 minutes. Go there now. We will see you next time. Good night, everybody. Oh, shit.
Kawhi.
In the beginning, there was nothing. And then there was the Drunken Peasants Podcast.
Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants. From the strangest corners of the internet, gonna get TP'd by Billy and Ben. You know where you can find them at. Get ready, cause they're gonna kick your... Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants.